Showtime at the Apollo. Showtime at the Apollo. We are live. We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Truth Seekers Live podcast. Truth Seekers Live, the Honest Truth Live podcast. You are once again viewing another week of my physical dustiness. My hairline has gotten dustier. My beard has gotten dustier. I meant to shave. I meant to do a lot of things this week, but this week has been a really crazy week. I'm probably going to give you the same exact excuse next week that I meant to shave and get myself looking better. However, hold me to it that that is not an excuse. My physical dust is reaching new levels. However, aside from all of that, I would love to thank you all for being here tonight. It's going to be a great night. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, let's give a shout out to some of the members in the building already. Carolina de Rosina. Good to see our member Carolina in the building. Laura Guerrero, consistently the first one to post comments in the building tonight. Diana Love in the building tonight. Tulip Personality in the building tonight. Josh Turner, I am embracing my physical dustiness. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I just got back from the store and I was going to shave and I forgot to get razors. So I was like, oh, God, here we go again. I'm looking even more, if that's even possible. Hello, Taylor. Good to see you again. Hello, Alexander. Josh, by the way, I got your text too, man. I haven't texted back, but man, it looks absolutely beautiful, brother. Y'all are living the dream right now, man. Laura Garrett said the 5 o'clock shadow. Laura, you are too kind. You are too kind. Emmy Vet Beauty, welcome. Good to see you back in the building. Good to see you back in the building. Let me put my cell phone right here. There we go. I am verbal in the house. Hello, I am verbal. Raise your son's right, and I won't call the cops is in the house. y'all in these names. Y'all are hilarious. Y'all keep me rolling, man. Y'all are hilarious. Jojo One in the building. Thank you. She says, Happy Easter. Happy Easter to y'all as well, man. Happy Easter. Thank you, Kiera. Very kind. Taylor says that blemish zit on your face. It looks like it cleared up. Yeah, it did because I have my 10 o'clock shadow covering it right now. But it did well. My sister actually got me some patches, some clear up patches that you can put on your skin. Very interesting, very cool stuff, very unique. She was watching the streams and she got something for me. I thought it was really unique, really sweet. My sister's good. I love her. Shout out to my sister who's watching this right now. It looks like I'm hovering over like the microphone right now. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try and scoot up because it looks like I'm like long necking the microphone. Pause. Hold on one second. Let me scoot up. Might look a bit better. All right, looks a little bit better. All right, we're going to wait a couple more seconds. We get a couple more people in here. Today is going to be a very interesting topic. A lot of people have been emailing me wanting me to talk about the Derrick Jaxn scandal. Well, I see you didn't cover Derrick Jaxn yet, Truth. Why are you ignoring Derrick Jaxn? All right. You're going to get what you asked for. You shall receive once you ask, thus saith the Lord. Why haven't I covered Derrick Jaxn? Well, let's cover Derrick Jaxn. In the second part of the live stream, we're going to talk about Bhad Bhabie. I believe that's how you say her name properly. Not Bhad Baby, but Bhad Bhabie. And her $1 million record-breaking OnlyFans income stream over the course of 6 hours. These might seem like very irrelevant topics as far as concisiveness and continuity that they share between each other, but I can guarantee if you make it through, happy Easter, Marina, forgive me, I can't read. If you make it through the stream, you'll understand why I'm talking about both of these people. Blue Waters, another member in the building. Shout out to you, Blue Waters. Okay, it is Bhad Baby. It's Bhad Baby. Okay. I thought it was Bhad Bhabie. I thought she was trying to say Barbie, but Bobby. Taylor, I got your email, definitely. Taylor, you'll have to forgive me on this. I was swamped with work this week, but that's not an excuse. As soon as the live stream ends, I'll be sure to go over that email one more time. Thank you, Taylor, for your patience. Huge thank you to the contributors of the channel. We're going to dive right into it. We got 30 live viewers. We're going to dive into it. We get most of the views after I go off of the air. A lot of people don't get the notifications right now. You have your notifications bell on, but if you're here, you got your notification. Those are the links to donate if you would like to. I appreciate everybody for being here right now. So, as most of you know, if you're in this space, if you're listening to Black Dating, Black Relationships, if you're aware of Tevin's Whammules, Jessica X, Coach Rag Adams, people like that that are in the Black manosphere and the red pill community of prevalence, down to Miss Sharp included, then you will know who Derrick Jaxn is. He is the man that's despised by most black men. At least he was despised by most black men. Now he's despised for other reasons, right? Recently, there was a scandal that he had where I don't know how he got caught, but he got caught cheating on his wife. Looks like our internet connection is a little slow right now. He got caught cheating. He's been publicly ridiculed and outed for cheating on his wife, thus bringing in the wrath of all of the men who hated him to begin with and exponentially raising their level of hatred towards him. Now, Derrick Jaxn preached of a message that, black women are to be worshipped. They're queens. They're this, they're that. He preached essentially black women empowerment and women empowerment in general, not just black women. He had women of all races, but a lot of black men had a problem with him because Derrick Jaxn is black, right? So the issue at hand is that now that he's been publicly outed as a cheater, a lot of the black men who had a problem with him being loyal at one point to black women now have a problem with him being a cheater, right? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, if you're Derrick Jaxn in this case. If you were the good, upstanding man who was being good to women in general, you're outed. And now that you're a cheater, you're outed. Let's cover exactly what happened. And I'll break down to you how I see the Derrick Jaxn situation and why still it marks for impending doom on most of the black males in the black community. Let's begin. Black men have been rejoicing after hearing the news that Derrick Jaxn has cheated on his wife. Yes, I did say wife. All right. We're going to show you a video and a little bit of the black manosphere and men in general dancing in happiness that this man has been caught cheating. Now, yes, in all fairness, the video we'll show is actually not a man dancing because Derrick Jaxn has been caught cheating. I'll pull up this video really quickly. You understand what I'm talking about. But this serves an example. This serves an example of the men that we're talking about right now. Welcome everybody that's just now joining to the live stream. Share the screen really quickly. 1 second. By the way, got a new laptop. Not using it right now. Got a new laptop. It is sensational. I want to thank you all so much for all the contributions and donations. Doing a lot of good things. Anyways, the name of this video is No More Child Support. Once again, a black man being held accountable for his actions, having a child, procreating, continuing his lineage and legacy. And this is the celebration that he had to be off of child support. You don't have to pay child support. Hey, you got the money, don't you worry, Daddy. You ain't got to pay no child support. All right, that is black men celebrating that Derrick Jaxn cheated on his wife. That is black men celebrating that they are no longer on child support and held accountable to their bad decisions or their decisions, period. Now, yes, admittedly, this is indeed, like I said, a baby mother video. But in this, in essence, it's the exact representation of the madness that I'm seeing in the Red Pill MGTOW Manosphere channels. Let me explain. Somehow, black men have internalized that since a prolific figure in the realm of dating recently being caught cheating in his marriage, that validates their spiteful position towards hating black women. Let me say this again. Somehow black men have internalized that since Derrick Jaxn cheated on his wife, somehow that validates their hatred towards black women and women in general. Okay. But the interesting fact about Derrick Jaxn cheating is this, that Derrick Jaxn is a well-to-do, high-value, prized black man who cheated on a loyal black woman. I'm going to say this again. Derrick Jaxn is a high-value, high-prized, well-to-do black man who cheated on his loyal black wife. So all you black men who wanted me to cover the Derrick Jaxn story, here you go. This is the story for you, all right? I repeat, his wife, to our knowledge, was loyal, yet somehow Derrick Jaxn cheating makes black women look bad. Make that make sense. In the past, we've talked about the loyalty of women, black women in particular, through slavery, oppression, hanging, racism, yet they stuck by the black man's side. 400 years, they've shown loyalty. Derrick Jaxn's wife to this day remains loyal, so far as we know, in marriage, even after he, the rare high figure unicorn black male archetype that we rarely see in the black community, cheats on her, publicly humiliating her internationally. She's still loyal to him. So, black men, this is my next question. If somehow black women are at fault for Derrick Jaxn cheating, this is my question to you, black men and men in general. Once again, Derrick Jaxn didn't just talk with black women; he talked with women of all races. He upheld women in high regards. You can go to his channel and see women of all races, Asians, whites, blacks, whatever it might be, talking to him and him giving advice on how to handle their men-like problems. So here's my question to all the men: are you happy that Derrick Jaxn cheated because it proved that high value black men are lacking a moral compass by and large? Or are you under the impression that it's good that he, a black man, lied to millions of black women who felt that he had possessed a moral compass that, in essence, was severely lacking in the black community? Right? Either way, for you to be happy about this as a man, black man, white man, purple man, to hear news like this, it's a lose-lose for you, right? Because this is supposed to be a man who's actually good and an upstanding pillar in the community. So all these red pillars, MGTOW, black pillar guys that are throwing their hands in the air saying, see, you see, women, we told you that he was lying to you. That only makes you look worse because you're a black man yourself. And moreover, this is a rare, high earning black male because most black males don't earn a lot of money. So you want me to cover it? This is the truth. Okay. I, this is the brutal honest truth. Let me read a couple. I just don't understand. Iron Verbal says exactly. How is this an L for black women? They reach on this one out of the stratosphere. It makes no sense to me. They're angry and upset at black women and saying, see, we told you, black women. We told you he wasn't telling you the truth. We told you he was lying to you. But it's like, wait a second. We're mad that the black women believe that he was actually a good guy for once, that they could actually have a dream. God forbid that the black women have a dream that they could get a guy who's well earning, relatively decent looking, who's in physical shape, who's well talked, well mannered, who's well esteemed, who has a name behind himself. God forbid women look up to a man like that, only for him to find out publicly, to be found out publicly, that he's just like majority of the black men in the black community. Huh? So they hated Derrick Jaxn when he was loyal. They hated him when he was cheating. I'm confused about this. I'm confused about this because this is what the red pill preaches. The red pill MGTOW guys talk about pumping and dumping women. They say this all the time: pump and dump. If you get a single mother, pump and dump her. Have intercourse with her. Don't try and settle for long-term relationships. She's low-hanging fruit. She's low value. She has nothing to offer you. Single mother this, single mother that. They make jokes about it, calling women linebacker this, and this, and that, right? So I'm confused because, well, essentially, Derrick Jaxn is playing right into your methodology of thinking, as ridiculous as it sounds, that he is just using women, which is what the red pill adheres to. Use women so much because women use men, right? That's what they believe. I'd play you some clips, but we're in a lot of copyright issues, so I'm not going to play any clips. Just trust that I'm talking about things that I know wholeheartedly. I've been in this community, in the red pill community. I've been in all these communities, and I've watched them for hours and hours on end. This is what they believe. They believe in not settling down with women. They believe in playing women. They believe that Future's a player, a god, and that Russell Wilson's a simp. So they're mad at Russell Wilson, the simp. They praise Future, but they're mad at Derrick Jaxn, who is now acting like Future. But I thought you liked men who mentally are manipulative towards women. I thought that fit your agenda. So why are you so upset at Derrick Jaxn? Essentially, he's doing your will, right? He's deceiving women. He's manipulating women. He's pumping and dumping. He's not taking his vows seriously. He's not a simp, right? Oh yeah, it's okay, Taylor. I appreciate that. I don't pull anything up on the laptop. I appreciate you though. Very kind. Thanks for giving me the heads up. Exactly, Nanny. Derrick Jaxn is a bigger L for black men than he is for black women. I don't understand this. I've gotten emails. I've gotten like 4 emails saying, "Oh, I bet you won't talk about Derrick Jaxn." I just thought about it, and within 10 seconds, I was like, "Wait a second. Derrick Jaxn makes me look bad. I'm a black man who's speaking good towards black women. Derrick Jaxn makes black men in general look bad because it shows that even the men who aren't quote unquote dogs are still dogs at the end of the day. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, black women. If you choose to go after a man like Derrick Jaxn, who is high esteemed, high regard in the community, he can still be the same dog that Pookie and Ray Ray is. But if you sleep with Pookie and Ray Ray, have a baby, and things don't work out, then you should have gone for a man like Derrick Jaxn or Stampitis. We'll talk about that a little later. Damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Right, Nia. See, I told you black. This is what black women are saying. I told you that black women ain't shit. I told you that's why Derrick Jaxn cheated. See, black women, see what you did to yourself. It's like, that's like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the meme. Let me show you some thank you Obama memes. There's a meme called "Thank You Obama." Now, when Obama was drafted into presidency, a lot of people didn't like him because obviously we have a lot of different things about Obama that people didn't like. And so for a long time, people were creating these memes. And so somebody would like record themselves eating a burger on the couch, and the burger patty would fall out of the burger. And the words at the bottom of the screen would just say, "Thank you, Obama." Obama had nothing to do with it, right? But it was just a meme that so many people hated this man that everything was going to be blamed on Obama, no matter what it was at this point. This is what black women become. They become the Obama of the dating community, of the black manosphere, of the manosphere in general, right? You have black men saying, "Oh, you can't date white men. White men don't want you. Here's the statistics. Here's this. Here's that." Oh, see, I told you shouldn't have been trying to date and marry a black man like Derrick Jaxn. But you just told them that the white men don't want them, so they actually went after a good black man, quote unquote. They still got played at the end of the day, and now you're still upset at them. Huh? This is why I had to wake up to so much of the idiotic hamster wheel beliefs that even myself I was a part of. And I tell you this story all the time, is that I had to wake up and realize that I don't even want my sister dating a guy like me, right? I had to finally wake up and say, "Wait a second, Jonathan, this is really twisted, and you need to wake up," right? Black men are deep asleep at the wheel right now, driving 200 miles per hour, and they're getting ready to exit off of the Autobahn, and they have no idea because the auto control on their Tesla's figuratively is getting ready to turn off, but they're asleep at the wheel irregardless, right? This is the state of the black community right now. Black women could do no good, no matter what happens, no matter who's behind the wheel, no matter what she does, she's going to be in the wrong. And this Derrick Jaxn situation proves it. Derrick Jaxn's a well-spoken, not Pookie, not Ray Ray guy, high-earning, good-looking, physically fit, the guy that you essentially would want your women to chase after. So even guys hating Derrick Jaxn to begin with is ridiculous because this outwardly appearance would appear to be the type of guy that you would want your daughter to marry, that you would want your daughter to get with. This is a man's man who cares about women. So the problem, so I have a problem with them hating just to begin with, right? But when he actually finally does show his true colors, you shift the hate from Derrick Jaxn, the man that is responsible for his own actions, onto the black women, the women who aren't responsible for that entire situation of him cheating on his wife to begin with. It's like black women have no options. Carolina Dercino says, "Yeah, he failed us. He disappointed us." Queen of the South, absolutely. I didn't even want my sister to date a guy like me, and I don't want my sister to date guys like this in general. I don't want my sister to date anybody that's a part of the manosphere or a part of the extremely rapidly large growing sector of MGTOW, red pill, those misogynistic factors that seek to do harm both emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I guess 3 ways towards women. Carolina says they want us to believe we're unlovable. Absolutely. They sure do. It's manipulative. It's manipulation. It's It's them not being able to accept their failures and where they've led their own community in life, and then trying to place the blame on you, as they always do. As they always do. Good to see you in here, Loren. Let's continue with the monologue here. After all, I thought this would make Derrick Jaxn a boss. We talked about this a second ago, but I got to keep reading. Isn't Future a boss in your eyes? Several Manosphere channels have praised Future for his successful conquest and multiplying his lineage. I thought that pumping and dumping was the motto that y'all stood by, 10 toes down on. So before, Derrick Jaxn was a simp because he preached loyalty and love to women. He gets outed. But instead of dapping him up when you realize that he's just like Future, you chose to admonish him since finding out he's playing the women that you claim to hate, which would be a good thing technically for you. But getting back to the women that were duped by Derrick Jaxn, God forbid that a black woman once again think that she can go for a relatively decent-looking man who's loyal, God-fearing. God forbid that she have dreams and aspirations of a loyal, well-to-do black male. She should know that most Negroids would never fit the bill. She should know that. Derrick Jaxn has proved this point even further. And you wonder why black women continue to preach about divesting, or at least encouraging themselves to look outside of the race for potential future lifelong mates. And you wonder why. You wonder why, after black males start to rejoice at the fact that one of the quote-unquote good males ends up being just like the degenerate black males that are rejoicing. You wonder why they choose to divest. You know, it reminds me of a guy on the channel that I said his name earlier, and I'm sure he's watching now. A frequent guest who was another well-to-do black male that shorted his faithful, loving black woman who's provided him with a child on marriage, still to this day, and argues that he's in the right for doing it. Another well-to-do black male that has done absolutely nothing to add back to the woman of his dreams, and I quote that he says, the best woman that I've ever met in my life, the best thing that's ever happened to me, fails to still do right by her, a good upstanding black male in society. And you wonder why black women are choosing to divest and leave most black males alone, or at least encouraging dating outside of the race. Black women are damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Most well-to-do black men are having a hard time getting married in the first place. We've seen this with our own two eyes. If they decide to marry, the likeliness that they will cheat skyrockets since they view themselves as the offspring of Jesus Christ, the Messiah himself. Matter of fact, I'll just go as far to say they view themselves as Jesus, black successful men. They're that rare. They're that much of the anomaly, the minute, severe minority, that they view themselves as an extension as the good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Well, maybe they should date the average man then. Truth, they need to stop going for men like Derrick Jaxn. They need to stop going for men that are doing good in life. And settle for Ray Ray instead, right? And his 6-month pregnant girlfriend to contribute half of the rent until her 8-month and 2-week term of pregnancy. Well, you should have chose better to have a baby with then. You should have chose a better man. But you better stick with the black man because the white man doesn't love you like we do. Oh, all right. Wagwan, Asia, wagwan. Queen of the South says Derrick Jaxn removed his videos with him and his wife from his channel. Queen of the South said, but would Derrick Jaxn finally end up getting embraced by the manosphere? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Derrick Jaxn could divorce his wife, do this, do that, start preaching red pill, and they wouldn't accept him. They wouldn't accept Derrick Jaxn because they would call him a chameleon. They'd say, no, you were preaching emphatically that women are to be respected. You are preaching emphatically that women are good people, that women are loyal creatures, which they are. His wife is still with him, and I don't think she has any plans of divorcing him. They wouldn't accept him because he actually spoke about showing love to women. He spoke about respecting women. The manosphere doesn't respect women, nor do they care to do that. It'd be a dark day in hell a bright day in hell, rather, the day that the manosphere decides to accept Derrick Jaxn. They won't do it because what he stood on verbally, not actually with his physical actions, but verbally what he stood on, morally what he stood on figuratively, was what completely contradicts their belief, which is true humility, manliness. It's patience, kindness, love. Those are words that are non-existent in the manosphere, the red pill community, MGTOW community. It just doesn't exist. So they will never accept him, even if he ends up being exactly what they are, right? Because what he represented at one point was not what they could ever get with. Lorenz says Derrick Jaxn is proof that no matter how well you choose, you can't stop a grown man from acting like a grown boy. And this is the big reality of it, right? This is the big reality of it. I was going to play a video. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play a video. It's a video of Vlad TV. And let me find this really quickly for y'all. This video is important because it talks directly to men who have affluence and the importance of marriage. And there's no mistaking the fact that most of the affluence in this country is owned by white men or white people in general, right? They marry at a higher rate than we do. I'm sure we can pull out divorce rates and things of that nature until kingdom come. But there is a connection between opulence, wealth, and marriage. All right. I want to show you this really quickly. This really blew me away. And what's even crazier about it is it's the man that he's talking about is a rapper. And this rapper actually proclaimed to want to get married to his girlfriend. And Vlad was so shocked that he took a second and he said, wait, you actually want to marry this girl? And this rapper named Young Blue said, yeah, I want to marry her. Let's play it really quickly. I'll let you hear. I don't think Vlad will copyright. If Vlad copyrights, then hey, whatever. Fair use. Get over it. I beat one case, we'll beat more. I beat one case, I will beat more. Thank you so much to everybody who's donated and still tuning in. We'll open up the panel a little bit later in the stream. We'll still be talking about Bhad Bhabie coming up here in a little bit. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Here we are. Let me make sure the volume is all the way up. All right, let's listen to this really quickly, and we'll continue in our conversation. Hello, Sweetie71. Good to see you in here.
Oh, yeah. And then some. Y'all getting married?
That ain't even the first thing she got. She always just you said marriage.
Yeah. You trying to change the subject on me?
Nah.
You said marriage.
Yeah, we definitely get married though. We definitely get married. Yeah, we definitely get married. I couldn't even picture myself marrying nobody else but her though.
Yeah. Now, who does this sound like a little bit to you? Sounds like a guy that we always have on the channel, right? Sounds vaguely, extremely familiar with somebody that we've talked to numerous times. He plans on getting married, right? I couldn't see myself getting married to anybody else. We'll see, though. We'll see. I didn't play this clip for you to see and hear what Young Blue's saying because, yes, Young Blue is a rapper. I get it. But what Vlad says, the interview after this is important.
Let me tell you something, man. Like, you rarely see a successful man who's a lifelong bachelor.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't always mean marriage, but like a female partner
Yeah.
with that man
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Because
you rarely see a successful man that's a lifelong bachelor. All right. This is coming from a man who's worth millions and millions of dollars. You rarely see a successful man that's a lifelong bachelor. Okay. This is a fact. All right. When you start going into corporate worlds, when you start talking about business transactions, when you start talking about tax breaks, acquiring households, acquiring real estate, this, and that, there are benefits that you have to going into those types of business transactions with the marriage license, right? There are lots of benefits to being married. This is why, yet another reason that the Black community will continue to economically suffer, because even the best of us go on to either A, ruin the marriages that we do have, or B, never getting married in the first place. Organic Black says facts. Absolutely. Jedi Mike says facts. Absolutely. But you can't, I've learned that you can't, just like Reset on the channel, he tries to teach Black men how to actually build wealth and do this and do that. At the end of the day, Reese would have a hard time hearing this type of rhetoric that to really truly build wealth which people don't understand. To build wealth, it takes a community. This is another reason why marriage is so important and valuable and priceless, is because it takes a community of organization, leadership, family, business, dollar circulation to build the wealth. It can't just happen with one person. That's why he says it doesn't just happen with a bachelor, because a bachelor lifestyle lends itself over to solidarity, to solitude, to individuality, right? But to build wealth and opulence, you need business transactional partners. You need relationships, right? There's always a saying that we say, right? It's not what you know, but who you know. That's how you build wealth. Marriage is yet another bridge to cross to get to know people better, right? To have opportunities to walk into different relationships with different people on different levels, right? It adds too many economic benefits that we don't understand as a people. But here we are trying to argue that we need to stop marriage. We need to cut ourselves off from marriage, and that we need to start treating women as if they're the enemy, which is once again going directly against the dollar circulation in the Black community, is going directly against what rich people already understand and know fundamentally in the laws of business. All right. Let's continue. Oh, my phone's about to die. So I will lay off the Derrick Jaxn for a little bit. I want to talk about the second part of the podcast, Bhad Bhabie. All right. Now you're going to wonder, well, why? How are you going to connect these two topics? Well, I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you here. Let's read a couple relationships. Let's read a couple comments, and then we'll go into the Bhad Bhabie. Marina says, the high-value Black men are the worst ones to relationships. They want praise for their obligations. Absolutely. They want praise for being a human being, a grown man. Lori, you're on the money. Nia said, I was one of those. I don't care if I get married chicks until I had kids. I switched up quick. Absolutely. And what I'm going to explain in a little bit, Nia, is that side that Bhad Bhabie's in right now, right? Bhad Baby, right? Josh Turner said too short. Absolutely. Too short's married. Jedi Mike says, preach. Thank you so much. Iron Verbal says, yes, that's a fact. There have only been like 2 single presidents also. Absolutely. Organic Black said legacy, passing down wealth and legacy. Absolutely. Blue Water says that American Black is, as I quote, could never long as good as God gave them breath. A little hard to read that. She said that's why she's only married to God. I hear you there, Blue Waters. I hear you. There's never been a bachelor president of the United States. I think we read a comment that said there are possibly 2. We'll see. We'll see if there's any more. Absolutely. Suda Africana Mommy with a great comment. Great to see you back in here, Suda. Please like the stream, y'all. Definitely appreciate it. Organic Black says a man in his mid-40s and up who has never been married is a red flag. Absolutely. Absolutely. So why did I decide to tie Bhad Bhabie into this situation? Well, for those of you who don't know, I lost my place. Bhad Bhabie recently turned 18 years old, so she's right at the prime for the manosphere now. She's good for the getting. She's good for the getting. She just turned 18, guys. Niggas been raring their hands together since this girl was 15 years old. They've been chomping at the bit for Bhad Bhabie to turn 18. They've been chomping at the bit. I've read comments online talking about this girl saying, man, she's been 16 forever. She's been 17 forever. When is she going to turn 18? Niggas been waiting for Bhad Bhabie to turn 18. And it shows. She amassed over $1 million during a 6-hour time window on OnlyFans. $1 million. 1 million, 6 hours. So I'm sure you're asking, why am I talking about Bhad Bhabie? She's not even a Black woman. True, she isn't. Having said that, I don't know if anybody really knows what Bhad Bhabie's ethnic background is, to be honest. But it's neither here nor there, okay? Rather, more of a general reference to a woman deciding that maybe she doesn't need a man for where she's at in life, just as Nia X stated earlier. You see, we often say that men are the prize. All these manosphere men think that they're the prize. Right? I'm a prize. I got a college degree. I'm a Black man. I'm a prize. Somehow men of the manosphere convince themselves that since they have been physically laboring majority in mankind's history, that somehow attributes the level of prizehood to their value. But let me ask you, men of the manosphere, you confused, childish human beings, not even childish, because that is children injustice, as a comment said a couple live streams ago. Does a king or a queen, in many past civilizations, does a king or queen build the castle that they rule and reside in? Do they actually build it brick, by concrete slab, by wood pallet by wood pallet? Does a king or a queen do that? Yes, Danielle Brigioli. She's Italian? Okay, thank you so much. I know that I know that all she hangs out with is black guys. You know, I've seen a couple of videos of her. She does music. I used to be a producer, doing the whole beats and everything like that at one point, and I've always seen her with black guys. I have no idea. It's just black men think that they're a prize. I don't know why. Lola B says no. Italian, aka white. No, the king or the queen of the castle does not build their own castle. They have their subjects build the castle. They have the servants build the castles, right? In some cases, they have the slaves build the castle. The true ruler, kinship, queenship of value in the kingdom does not labor at all. All right. In this case, the ruler of the kingdom of capitalistic America, who does not physically or did not physically labor in the past. Now, times changed a little bit. We have a lot of movements that women don't mind working now. But the ones who built up the castle for women to live in America are men. That lets me know that the position of rulership or authority, by and large, is in women's hands. Now, guys will say, well, it's because men are stronger. Well, it's because this. Well, it's because that. Not necessarily all the time. In the lion pride, it's the woman that goes out and does everything. And the lion is the king of the jungle. We call the lion even the king of the jungle. And guess what? The lion doesn't do any work because the king simply gives directions and rules. The queen simply gives directions and rules. They have the ability and the pick of the litter. They do what they want to do. They have no obligation. A lot of times when I'm talking to men and I'm on these panels, I sense that they're jealous of women. They're angry that Danielle Breggioli, Bhad Bhabie, can make $1 million in OnlyFans in 6 hours. They're angry. As if to say that if they weren't in her position, they wouldn't do the same exact thing. I have no problem admitting that if I can go into OnlyFans right now, make $1 million with me taking off my shirt, I would do it. I have no problem admitting that. And most of you Negroes out here listening to this I'd be remiss to give you the opportunity to say you wouldn't or you would do it either, because I know that you would do it. I know that you would. Most men, if we're being completely honest, are jealous of women. They're in their 1000% feminine energy. They're jealous of women. They want to be a woman themselves. This is why they hate women so much. This is why they compete with women so intensely. I can't believe that all these simps gave her money. I can't believe it. Right. You can't believe it, right? We'll believe it. You know why they did? Because the woman is the prize. There's a reason why a woman can do nothing and go and make $1 million on OnlyFans or $600,000 on OnlyFans, or a woman who has never even had social media can start bringing in $2,000 to $3,000 a month from OnlyFans, right? It's because she inherently is worth more at just about every stage of her life than a man is. Men, black men, white men, Asian men, you are not a prize. If you were a prize, you wouldn't be so upset that women can, quote unquote, live life on easy mode if they decide to, that women have their picks of the litter. You're not a prize. If you were such a prize, you wouldn't be day in and day out watching Tevin Waymills or Coach Greg Adams or scorning with your fellow angry child, like, once again, insult to children, lost, confounded mindsets amongst your fellow peer groups that women are so big and bad and evil and this and that. Women don't sit around on YouTube Spaces for the most part and complain about men like that. They'll tell other women to leave the dusty men alone and to level up, right? Men, on the other hand, tell other men to leave women alone altogether. that all the women are evil, right? Two very different two very different ideas, right? Jedi Mike says the pioneer gets slaughtered and settlers prosper. Marina says period it. Period it. I am Verbal says it's called the JJ envy. Absolutely. I can't believe all these simps gave her $1 million. Yeah. One of those simps was probably your best friend. One of those simps was probably your father or your cousin or your uncle. Because you see, $1 million doesn't just materialistically manifest itself out of nothing. Women aren't the ones that paid Bhad Bhabie $1 million. It's your fellow manosphere brothers that you claim are on your side, that you claim are roaming around wearing your king-like crowns on your heads that paid Bhad Bhabie $1 million. And women know this. They know that they're the prize now. And so the manosphere is trying their hardest to try and get men to take back their status. Take back your throne, king. When you never had a throne to sit on to begin with. Everything that man has always done for civilization has been to protect women, because inherently men knew that women were the prize. They knew that women were the ones that could bear their lineage. They knew that women were the ones that would go on to succeed them and future generations. They knew that women were the ones that outlived them. They knew that women were the ones that could take care of them in a way that no other man could. All right? This is a fact. And I saw a comment earlier saying, men are always going to say, oh, these women are going to die alone. These women are going to die alone. No, the women aren't going to die alone, because no matter what or where a woman is in life, there will always be a man that would love to be and hang around her feminine energy, because women are the true prize. I don't care if the woman is 77. I don't care if the woman is 27. There will be a 27, 28. Apparently, at this point, you have 50-year-old men looking to hang with 18-year-old girls. There'll be a 78, 87-year-old man that's willing to hang with a 77-year-old woman. Women are always going to be desirable, and the black manosphere, the manosphere in general, are jealous, in my opinion, that they don't have life as easy as women do. And I've even heard them verbatim say this, that women live life on recruit mode. For those of you who don't game or play video games, recruit mode is the easiest difficulty that you play video games on. The enemies aren't as challenging. You don't take as much damage. It's an easier way to play the game. They claim women, and I've heard this a million times, they'll come on the stream and say the very same thing. One of the reasons that they're adamant in their hate for women is that because women get life easier. It's not fair. It's not right that a woman could do nothing and then at the end of the day play one man for dinner, play another man, and be sleeping with another man that night, and then go out to dinner again. This is what they say. Well, there's a reason that a woman could go to 5 dinner dates a day if she decides to. It's because she's the prize. So no, black man, you're not the prize. Let's move on. I'll read some comments really quickly. Marina says the world goes around because of us. Absolutely. Back to stash. What's up, bro? Organic Black says exactly. Sammy, I don't quite understand the comment. Thank you. Bhad Bhabie's Italian and Polish. Thank you, Laura. Organic Black says that Loren, these are the same dudes that say black women have a $5 net worth. Well, white men wanted to do something about it. Now they're mad. That $5 net worth argument is just, I'll never understand it. It's like a $5 net worth. Literally, the shirt on my back, even if I had nothing else to my name, the shirt on my back is worth about $7. So my net worth would be $7. We know that most women aren't walking around with nothing but a shirt on. These guys are so ridiculous. It's wild. Absolutely wild. No, organic. I play a video game, and a lot of the people in the video game are characters, to say the least. So, Verdell says, "Congrats on the 1K. That was quick. Yeah, it took some time, Verdell, but we're making strides. We're making strides. We're making an impact. A lot of big name channels have seen us. Right. Recently, we were banned from a channel that has 200,000 plus subscribers. Slow but steady progress." Kira says they want to be able to act like women as men. Absolutely. They're in competition with women. But can you do what a man can do? But can you? But did you build the bridges? Did you build the skyscrapers? But did you? No, nigga, she didn't have to because you did it. And now she gets to walk across the skyscrapers that you built. So you tell me who's the prize? While men were falling from the sky building the New York State Empire building, women were just chilling watching them say, man, there's some brave men. Okay, well, you want to go to dinner? You want to go out to eat, girls? Let's go out to eat. Right. Sud Africana says, I wish the manosphere returned into women already. Maybe we can all hang out and make some money. Right. They need to. They need to. Hey, Ashley, good to see you in here. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. iRebel says, they're always roasting themselves. Women get their wealth from men. So if her worth is only $5, then what the heck is yours? It's so true. And getting back to the Bhad Bhabie situation, I veered off, but I want to tie in these two stories. All right. The king and the queen of the castle didn't have to build, furnish, clothe, feed, anything. They had all the provisions brought to for them because they had the true authority. Women have provisions brought to them in a traditionalistic environment. Not anymore because men aren't able to hold up the traditional values, but they still want a woman to be traditional, right? And submissiveness. But the king and the queen of the castle didn't have to do anything, just like the lion, the male lion that's in the jungle doesn't have to do anything. He has the power in the lion pride. Women have the power in dating between humans. I often hear men of accomplishment saying, I built everything I have, or I've worked hard to get where I'm at, so I'm a catch. Well, if that was the case, many well-to-do and rich and lonely men out there would love to argue against your logic and reasoning. Make no mistake about it. Just having money isn't enough to bring in a woman for you. All right. That's not going to do it. It increases your chances. But this is not the end all be all. There are a lot of rich men out there that are still lonely. All right. So even if you reach the pinnacle, my fellow brethren, whatever race that you are, it's still not the end all be all, because that still doesn't subjugate you to the level of power that you desire, to the level of respect and authority that you desire to have over a woman. Just because you have money, a lot of women aren't even going to go for that, to be quite frank and honest with you. A lot will, a lot won't. It all depends on the person. A woman doesn't need to have money to make herself worthwhile. Men will throw money at a woman. Men will give money to women. We all know this. You call those types of men simps. Well, whatever it might be, there's no shortage of simps in America capitalistic economy, in America, around the world. Simps, quote unquote, will never be gotten rid of. No matter how many people are in the manosphere, even the manosphere themselves, at the blink of an eye, will break into their simpetry gown if given the opportunity to bed, wed, dine, wine a woman of their attraction or choosing. Every man will. I don't care how strong they feel that they are in the red pill. There's no man on the planet that has the mental, physical resistance and fortitude to put off a woman who is interested in physically hooking up with them, who is interested in physically spending time with them. I don't care who it is. They just don't have that. They're men at the end of the day, and they know that. They might fake it and do the whole little bustling. Well, I'm a man. I'm going my own way, and I'm this and that. Okay, yeah, we'll see how long you make it, my nigga. We'll see how long you can go on your own way. I'll give you about 2 months or so before you start riding the baloney pony, as Coach Greg Adams calls it, into oblivion, to where you become depressed because you're just self-draining yourself every day. And realizing that that's not going to provide anything of substance for you. It's like eating a fast food meal when you really want to go to the steakhouse. Go ahead, look at adult content and videos, and we'll see how far that gets you in your journey to go your own way, my MGTOW friend. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. You're not going to make it very far. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. There's a reason why women aren't going their own way from men, by and large. And even if they do at some point, just like Nia X said, they realize that, you know what? Men do have a lot of inherent value to them. They don't hate men to the same level that men hate women. But we've already discussed why men hate women so much, because they're jealous of them. They're jealous of them. They don't want to accept what they are. They don't want to accept what they represent and their position of prize value in comparison to women. So you go your own way. There's not a single woman on the planet that will miss you. I want you to understand that. While you're going your own way, women have more options now than ever to bed, wed, dine, get together, hook up. A woman can walk down the street, any random street in America. I don't care what color she is. A woman can walk down the street and find a man that's willing to bed, wed, dine her within 5 minutes. And you're telling me that the women don't have power? A woman, thank you, Star. I'm glad to be back. Loren said, men that go their own way end up meeting their maker of their own accord. Absolutely. A woman could, I'd be willing to bet the rest of my YouTube analytics earnings checks, which isn't a lot, but it sounds dramatic, right? It sounds nice. That I'd be willing to bet the rest of the year's checks that any woman, literally any woman, and I did say any woman, can walk down the street in any random city, as long as the city has more than like 20,000 people in it, and find a man that's willing to give her money, to take her out to eat, to go watch a movie with her. But he doesn't want to marry her. But does he want to marry her, though, Truth? But would he marry her, Truth? You see, the white man might get with them, but he's not going to marry them. Right. I'm not saying, we're not talking about marriage right now, my ignorant brother. Let's just talk about betting, wedding, and dining. I bet you 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,001 times that any woman in looks comparison, monetary status, even lesser on the scales, a guy that looks like he's a 7 out of 10, and you take a woman that's a 4 out of 10, let them both walk down the same street and see which one can find somebody to physically get with or monetarily get with or to enrich their life quicker than the other. 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,001 times, the woman will beat the man because the woman has value. Yeah, he doesn't want to marry her, though. That's cool because even the men who are black in the community, in the black community and black dating, don't want to marry the black women. We've seen this on my own channel. If it exists on a channel with 1,200 people, out of the, 30 million people in Black America, I'm sure the number is much higher. All right. You want to be some statisticians majors? Go ahead and plug those statistics. So here we go. I'm talking about Derrick Jaxn now. I hope you're happy. I challenge any man to get a woman to pay your bills, supply your lifestyle, sugar you with goods based off of nothing but the clothes or lack thereof, since all black women have right a $5 net worth, just a shirt, no underwear, anything, of nothing but the clothes on your back. I challenge any black man, since you're so much of a prize, to walk down the street with a pair of I don't know, whatever the cheapest jailhouse slippers, I guess you can say, and a white t-shirt, to find a woman who'd be willing to bring you in and supply every whimsical desire that you might have, because that's what women have moreover than men have, right? The problem is in the black community, there's not enough men who can actually be in that position to give everything that they want to give. Make no mistake about it. They want to make more money. They want to be better in life. But instead of actually being better, they take out their anger and frustrations on women who have life easier than them. As if it's their fault that they were born women and it's their fault that you were born a man, right? But I challenge any guy, since you're the prize, to walk down the street and find a woman to take care of you. Newsflash, you're not going to be able to. Instead, what you'll find is a community of people, like-minded people who will call you a bum. You know why they don't call women who don't have the ability to provide for themselves bums? You know why they don't call women, I don't know, lazy or this or that? It's because inherently in society, we know that women are the prize. We know that women are to be taken care of, that you hold the door for women. We don't call women bums who fail in life, who make bad fiscal decisions and responsibilities. We reserve that word for men. Because moreover, by and large, women are looked at in a more favorable condition because they're the prize. They're the true prize. Oh, you're saying women can't do any wrong. There you go. Pandering to women again. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the truth. You can say it's pandering. You can say anything you want to, but you take equal-minded, equal-bodied, equal attraction, equal money level man and woman, the woman will have a better success rate 10 million times out of 10 million and one times. Regardless of what I say on this channel, that's a fact. You metaspheric men can't. I'll give a woman 5 minutes to find a guy that would be willing to lay with her. You Negroids can't even find a woman within 5 years to lay with you. I'm being honest. You're down bad. But somehow you're a prize. Nigga. Y'all niggas are insane. Y'all niggas are insane. You're such a prize, not a single woman wants you. You're such a prize that you spend every day of your miserable existence on the internet with your like-minded, prize-minded brethren. What a prize. I don't want a piece of that prize. If you're a prize, I'd be fine not being the prize, my fellow manospheric brother. I'm fine not being a prize with you, my friend. Bad Baby's a prize. Okay? Those girls on OnlyFans that do nothing while you're at work. And I'm not saying OnlyFans is the way. I'm just using this as a representation to show you the options that women have. If women choose to do OnlyFans, they can do that. If they want to go to work, if they want to go to college, they can do that too. Women can do whatever they'd like to, right? Men, you can't do everything that a woman wants to do. I'm not saying it's morally right. I'm trying to give you examples of just how much more women have in the prize leverage argument. There are no male bad babies on OnlyFans. And I think the icing on the cake, and I said this before, once again, is that it's not females paying for Bad Baby. It's males that paid for Bad Baby's OnlyFans. I might have said Instagram. Once again, I venture to say that 98% of the black manosphere, black men in general, white, black, Asian, whatever it might be, if they're a part of this hateful manospheric group, would call into work, charge their credit cards with an airline ticket, and pay for the highest quality hotel they could find in the area for the opportunity to consummate a night with the 18-year-old Bad Baby. I would wager, once again, my entire yearly YouTube analytics AdSense earning on this. I ain't no simp, but I ain't a simp, though. Let's read some comments really quickly before we continue. We'll be opening up the panel here in a little bit. If you're a male and you feel like you're a prize, I want you to call in. I want you to hop on StreamYard. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. I'm sure we might have some of the same few. We might. Magnificent One says, just came in. Magnificent One says, what happened to Bad Baby's black culture stealing self now? We're not necessarily talking about that. What we're talking about in this case is that the women and the prize argument, right? And I'm going to end up tying both of these concepts together a little more methodically in here in a little bit. Jedi Mike says, Team Jaxn, what's happening? What's happening is a scam to manipulate our sister vulnerability. Absolutely. But what we see, though, at the end of the day is that, the black women fell for it. It's the black woman's fault. No, it's another black man's fault. I hate to break it to you. Raise your son's right. I'm calling the cops. Says black women are already dating bumps, to be honest. Yeah, because they don't have much of an option. You either told to date the Derrick Jaxn, and if you get with the Derrick Jaxn, he ends up being a bum or a cheater, then you have to go date bums. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is why Divest exists. Laura Garrow says, everybody, man or woman, wants to be loved and love someone. Absolutely true. And these guys act like they're so tough. They act like they don't want women. They act like, I don't know. It's just foolishness. I don't need a woman. Women are evil. LT1209 says, sounds like it's moving the goalpost again. I'm not sure what you're referring to or in reference to. Tashley says, and I oop. Oh, you're fine, Magnificent One. It's cool. I spoke on Bad Baby kicking it with black men. Lorenz says there are many things men have an advantage in life. Yeah, you know what? You'll never hear the manosphere talking about the things that they have advantages in. You'll never hear it. They'd rather complain that women have advantages in life that they don't have. I've very seldom heard say, "Well, you know what, men have things we have things we could do, and women have things they could do." It very seldom is that the argument. The argument always is women always do this because they can do this, and women have that, and then this. And we're taught since Disney age and Princess and Little Mermaid and Ariel that women are princesses. This is the argument that I hear consistently on these channels. Organic Back says male privilege is real. Let's continue on. We'll open up the panels here in a second. You know, Tevin Wamuels has often said something to his female viewership on his live streams, and I've always thought this is interesting. He says the high value man takes a lot of work. Since he is so in demand, since he's so much of a prize, he takes a lot of work. You got to know what you're doing with the high value man, sister. You got to know what you're doing now. See, all of you want a high value man, but when it comes time to actually having the high value man, you don't want to put in the work. That's what he says. You don't want to put in the work. Right. He claims that since the high value man, especially in the black community, is so in demand, he even goes so far to tell women that in some cases it's almost customary to accept that a high value man, high earner, will cheat at some point or another. Case in point, women call up saying, "Hey, I broke up with my ex-husband. We divorced. He cheated on me." I've said this before. Tevin Wamuels will say, "Well, did you cheat on him first? What'd you do?" "No." "Well, did you forgive him?" "Yes, I did." "Well, what's the problem?" What's the problem? The problem is he disrespected the mother of his children. He disrespected his future generation and lineage. The problem is he disrespected himself. The problem is he tore apart what could have been one of the best things in his life. That's the problem, Kevin. What's the problem? He does well. He provides for you. Yeah, he cheated and he stepped out of his marriage for you. What's the problem? What blows me away to another level of stratospheric atmospheric pressure is the fact that Kevin Samuels used to be a church minister. And you wonder why the people in the black community have no pillar to actually turn to for substance. Even in the church itself, there's demons that are teaching in the church, that are taking up positions of authority and leadership. You can't make this stuff up, man. You wonder why the black community is in such a downward spiral. If a black woman decides to go to church and do better, she meets a man like Kevin Samuels, who's the leadership of the black single, I don't know, whatever. He used to be the single committee, whatever it might be. Really? What kind of advice were you giving to women in church who are actually submitting and listening and wanting to actually do better for themselves, that they need to find a man who is an average earner that might step out on her if he's a high earner? That's the advice that we're giving now? Oh, the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper. Women have taken this into account. They realize that men of opulence who they desire are more likely to cheat on them, that it's more acceptable now, that it's not necessarily a bad thing that they cheat, because men don't cheat emotionally like women do. They just cheat to physically get themselves pleased, right? I've heard this said millions of times on the channel. Men and women cheat for different reasons. Donovan Sharp says this all the time. A man cheats because of physical compatibility. A man cheats because he's physically attracted to the woman. A woman cheats because she's emotionally attracted to the man. So they even justify cheating for it being bad for the woman and okay for the man. Okay. All right. Laura, I haven't seen that song that you linked to me. I'll definitely check it out. Send it to my email. I haven't seen that song though. My email's in the back section, about section of the profile. Yeah, Kevin Samuels was like the leader of the singles ministry at a church right down the road from me. It's called Friendship West Church. It's in Dallas, Texas. Is my hold on a second. I think my camera went like blurry for a second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. See what's going on. No, it's HD. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just my browser. I look blurry though. I'm sorry for the video quality. It is definitely dusty today. I don't know why it's blurry. It just started getting blurry all of a sudden. Okay, it's clearing up a little bit. It's my connection. Somehow my connection is not good right now. Anyways, continuing on. Yeah, he was a leader in the singles ministry for years. This is the same man talking about, well, you can't be mad at him if you don't want to sleep with them before marriage. You can't be mad at him. How long do you think a man's going to wait? This is the man that was a leader of the singles ministry. Huh? Jake Moreno says Kevin Samuels represents millions of church leaders. I don't know if there are millions of church leaders. I understand what you're trying to say. I'm more proving a point that he was a church leader himself. And I'm sure we've all heard church scandals before. We all know the notorious stereotype of more pastors sleeping with more of the flock than the shepherds, right? We've heard this before. This is no stereotype, Jake, that pastors get around. Like, we've acknowledged this as society, all right? So I'm not saying that there aren't good people in ministry. I'm sure there are. I'm just using the man who has and is going towards 1 million subscribers on YouTube right now, advocating for premarital sex and telling women that they can't expect a man to stick around for them if they decide not to engage in premarital sex with that prospective man. I'm just relaying that to his position in the church that he used to actually stand firm in. It's a direct contradiction. And so that's the only thing I'm saying here. We can argue semantics all day. Whatever, 700,000, 1 million. It's the same difference at this point. Whether or not you choose to accept that, it doesn't matter. It's wrong at the end of the day. It's contradictory. Now he said Kevin Samuels got a lot of dust. He's thinking they're high value. Yeah, these dudes out here lost. Organic Bike says lots of hypocrites in church. Right. It's the reason why most people have left Christianity alone, to be honest with you. That's the reason. Magnificent One said Kevin Samuels is going to reach 1 million subs one day from a platform channel based off of negativity and toxicity. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's coming. He'll surpass 1 million. He'll probably surpass 2 million. I estimate that he'll probably get around 5 or 10 million when it's all said and done before his growth is either squelched, squandered, or YouTube shuts him down. I think he'll reach about 5 to 10 million. Verdell says Kevin Samuels can hit 2 million and it won't matter because these talking points never affect real life. These men lose all resolve when confronted by their dream women. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And even the manosphere has this talking point. I've heard a lot of these guys, and Donovan Sharp say specifically, he says, guys, you can say whatever you want to me. And he self-admittedly, listen to how backwards this is. The man that teaches women to leave women alone, or teaches men to leave women alone, to stand strong, to do this, do that. He has a wife. I think he's common law married. He might be married to his wife, right? She's a white lady. But even the leaders of the red pill and the manosphere are with women. Oh, goodness. You can make this up. You cannot make this up. Jedi Mike says, you're right, brother. This has been a common scandal for years in the church. Hypocrisy of the religion spirit. Absolutely. Yeah, Jay can say whatever he wants to say. He knows facts are facts. He knows facts are facts. Let's continue. I'll open up the panel here in 1 second. I said that for a while, but we're almost done here. So women are finally waking up to the point that, you know what? At this point, maybe I will make an OnlyFans. Maybe I will do it. I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't right now. I'm damned if I decide to date out of my race. Maybe I will date out of my race. Maybe I will go get a college education and just focus on myself right now. The men are saying that they don't want to focus on me right now. The men are saying that they want me to be a slave, that they don't want me to go to college right now. But I can't count on the men because the black dollar circulates lower than any other dollar in every other race in America. I can't count on the black men because the black men earn the lowest amount out of every other race in America. I can't count on black men because black men, by and large, are the most violent and the most felony convicted people and race group in America. I can't rely on black men because black men don't even want me right now. Black men don't even love me right now. I can't rely on black men because they're black men. So maybe I will just do OnlyFans. Listen, I used to have a problem with the women who decide that they want to do OnlyFans. I have no problem with women who want to do OnlyFans. I have no problem with women who decide to take off their clothes and do whatever they want to for money. I literally have no problem with it now. If they choose that that's how they want to live their life and they understand the moral consequences of it, and we've spoken about this before, 18 is young, in my opinion. You're still a kid. I don't think that's the best thing for you to do is to be going on OnlyFans at 18. I get it, but I also understand the reasoning of why an 18-year-old would be attracted to that. I completely get it. I completely get it. Her equivalent, her racial equivalent counterpart is doing absolutely nothing to help push her in the right direction. Instead, he's going directly against her. In this case, Bhad Bhabie associates herself with mostly black men. So we could just kind of pull her into the same category as black women. I know a lot of you might have a problem with that, but she kicks it with black men a lot of the time. All right. And women in general. The manosphere isn't just white or black or white or Asian. It's of all races. I talk about the black manosphere a lot because I'm a black guy. And I see the most damage happening in the black community because the black community is already damaged the most. Right. So by and large, in most sectors of the black community, it's already rock bottom. You start introducing a lot of these hateful, rhetorical, non-rhetorical conversations, and it's just going to seep deeper into hell's deep. It's just going to get worse and worse. That's why I talk about the black manosphere a lot. So the black woman she's woken up. She's realized she's understood. She's understanding now that, you know what? I'm going to just do me. Aside from the fact that a lot of black men praise the independent black women for years on end, they don't take any acceptance or responsibility for that, for praising and acknowledging that they want an independent black woman. INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means, man? She got her own house. She got her own car. 2 cars. Work hard. She's a bad broad. Right? But they'll never say, oh, you know what? We were wrong for doing that. We were wrong for conflating your head with the wrong ideas. They'll never say that. Instead, they'll say, oh, see, there you go. Listening to IND, listen to the Webby again, trying to be independent. There you go. You go ahead and be independent. They've been independent from damn near the start. After Malcolm X got killed, black women were on their own. After Martin Luther King got killed, black women were on their own. After black men started destroying the neighborhoods, after the black leaders were killed, black women were on their own. They've been independent since the 60s, since the 70s, okay? Make no mistake about it. So you can't get upset at black women for choosing to go on OnlyFans or sell their bodies. You can't get upset at black women for choosing to go to college or get in debt to try and get a collegiate education. You can't get upset at that because the black woman and women, by and large, of many other races as well, but mostly black women, are on their own. Black women are the highest single mother rates. Black women are the ones. Yeah, that's because the black women are on their own. Okay? That's because most of the black men have not done their due diligence into being actual men and building that castle that black women can thrive in and rule in their feminine authority. Self-Love Heals with $8 super chat. Thank you so much for your hotness. I appreciate it. I think I look the dustiest I've looked so far on stream. I take the compliment though. Thank you so much, Self-Love Heals. Always contributing to the channel. I thought it said for your honesty, and I was like, wait, hotness? Okay, I'll take that too. Marina says black men didn't storm the Capitol. They destroyed and robbed their own community for Black Lives. I said this and I'll say this before. Listen, black men are so toxic by and large that instead of handling the George Zimmermans or the Derrick Chauvins or the people that killed Sandra Bland or police officers in jail when they're locked up in jail, black men will kill other black men as if the past 400 years that they actually were going through something was directly related and contributing factors from other black men. And listen, racism doesn't exist by and large. I get that. I'm completely with the program. White people are trying to get us to do better, man. But I'm trying to prove a point here, and Self-Love Heals brings up a great point. Black men want all the smoke with people who are lesser than them, quote unquote, with people who don't have the immediate access to truly put them in check. Most black men really don't want the real smoke. Okay, we know what the real smoke is, right? They don't want the real smoke because the real smoke is going to hold you accountable for walking into that smokehouse, right? It's going to get hot in that kitchen. They don't want the real smoke. No. They'd rather go after women and children. A cowardly move, right? Cowards, all of them. And you know what's so funny is, you know one thing I always say, and this is the thing, I've been watching a lot of mob movies recently. I've been watching a lot of the mob, the Italian mob, and things of that nature, and how they came to prevalence in America. The Sicilian mob, people like Sammy the Bull Gravano, I forget his name. Michael Franchise, they all have YouTube channels. Michael Franchise is the only mob boss out of 50 of the mob bosses listed in the most powerful mob bosses that's alive, actually, man. But those guys were some very interesting people, you know. They were some extremely interesting people, and I watch and I listen to their wisdom. Because a lot of the mob guys, they did business on another level. They were so smart the way they would do things. For instance, these mob guys would run gambling rings, right? And I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you this story. I'm going to compare how black guys form the mob, black men form their gangs and mobs, and how white men form their mobs, right? The white mobs didn't have money when they first came from Italy. Some of them did. There was known as self-made men or self-made. When you became a part of the mob, you gave you the term of self-made. And you would start to be able to partake in the financial obligations and abilities to bring in money that the mob partook in, right? They would build bars. They would have illegal gambling houses and things of that nature. But one thing they always did and said was that if you sold drugs and you're part of the mob, they would kill you. Let me let you hear that. If you got caught selling drugs and you're part of the Italian Sicilian mob family, they would kill you for partaking in that activity because it brought too much heat to them and it brought too much destruction to the community. These are words from mob men, all right? The real Godfather, not Tevin Wamuels, not no black man that's dissing women. The real mob didn't harm women. If you went after another man's family or wife, then they were going to kill you. They wouldn't harm your family most of the time. They had specific rules not to go after the lesser and the more defenseless or the less defensive, defensive, I can't think of the right word, you know what I'm trying to say, people in the community. If you had beef, you went to go deal with other men. Men of the mob didn't handle beef by trying to attack the person that they're beefing with, children. They had rules, right? That's why the mob is still in effect today. You might not see them, but these corporations that exist nowadays, a lot of the casinos in Vegas, a lot of the money, gas stations and things that are being transacted between gas stations and tax break, whatever it might be, those are mob guys. Okay, so why am I saying this? When you got into the mob, there were rules that you had to follow. You break those rules, you were out. Those were real tough guys, right? These were dudes who went to jail for life and didn't snitch. They were proud not to snitch. They were held to such a strict rule of conduct that it made their future generations and lineage wildly successful. Even if they might have gotten removed or killed or murdered, they handled themselves so accordingly that the generations coming up to this day are taken care of financially. Okay? The mob came over here, did crime, but they benefited their community at the end of the day. The black man does crime, forms a gang, destroys the community, ain't making no money, snitching on everybody in jail. And I know I've spoken about snitching. Oh, so why you talk about snitching? Listen, snitching isn't helping out the police to solve a murder from an innocent person on your street. The real snitching is when you go into business and illegal crime with somebody, with another fellow black brethren. The police walk up to you and say, hey, do you know this person doing crime? You say, yeah. I'll take a deal if I can get that person caught. I don't think that's right. I think that that's wrong personally. However, trying to help police solve a murder in your residence, that's not snitching. That's called being an active member of the community. Okay? especially if they're civilians. You can't hold civilians to the gangster code. But if you're going to be a gangster, then you're going to be held to the gangster code. Okay? That's what I separate right there. The real mob, they believed in no snitching, and they went to their graves in jail consistently on that principle. That's why they're so successful. Black men and black gangs have no cohesiveness. There's no cohesion. That's why the black mob, the gangs, never owned any businesses. They never figured out how to put the future generations and lineage into financial beneficial positions. They never did that. They couldn't move like the mob, right? All they did was continuously and continually destroy the community. Meanwhile, the mob rose it up. Two different races of people, two different crime organizations, both criminal organizations handled very differently. Very differently. And I'll say something. This is how smart the mob was, right? At one point, they were doing like gambling. And so they would love to have NFL athletes and NBA athletes come into the gambling ring, right? These guys are so smart, man, how they did things. Eventually, an NFL player would have $250,000 of debt. He's like, hey, man, I can't pay all this off right now. I have too many expenses. The mob would say, oh, okay, no problem, no problem. This is what we'll do. You just fumble the ball in the first quarter, the second quarter, and the fourth quarter. Fumble the ball 3 times. We'll take care of your debt. They would end up betting against that team because they would lose more than likely if they fumbled the ball that many times or at certain periods of times when they had the opportunity to further extend their lead or when they needed to score again and they ended up losing the possession, they would probably lose the game. They would heavily bet against that losing team, and then they would just rake in all the profit from the bet that they set up. That's how smart these guys were. That's the difference between criminal organization and thugs. So even in crime, I can respect certain assets or certain aspects of men, of criminals. I can respect that. Black men ain't done nothing like that. Black men are shooting each other over nicks, over dime bags of weed, over $20 dice games. Black men are snitching and killing black men who actually are trying to do legitimate crime things that are not necessarily harming the community. Now, we know most black men aren't actually in organized crime, white-collar crime. They're doing things that destroy the community. But even the ones that are destroying the community and having success at it, you know a black guy's going to come knock you off. Black Woman Sisterhood says, I don't know what WB stands for. I'm sorry, Black Women's Sisterhood. You're right. Black men don't want to smoke for anything productive. They would have been able to eradicate racism and oppression a long time ago if they were serious about building the community. Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. And I've even said this, Black Women's Sisterhood. They had the chance. Even when racism was alive and well, you still had multi-millionaire black people. You had a stronger, tight-knit black community. I said it before, I'll say it again. Black people had a better community when they were being hung from trees than when they finally have all the freedoms to enjoy life in capitalistic America. Oh, soon. Yes. Okay. I'm opening up the panel. If you would like to hop onto the panel, sorry. I just. Oh, welcome back. Oh, okay. My bad, Black Sisterhood. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, we had some time off. And I'm glad to be back. It's good to be back. Jake Moreno says, Easter Sunday and THT can't go a day without trashing all black men in general. Sad. It's all right. Jake, you're welcome to hop on the panel, my friend, if you want to if you feel some type of way. Tell me why I'm so wrong, Jake. Say it to me. Self-Love Hill says, I live in a neighborhood that is safe because of what the mafia did in the past. Very true. Very true. You think you let me tell you how good the mob was at one point, man. The mafia was so powerful that even the police were on their side, dude. They were meeting with government officials. They were movers and shakers for real, right? Yes, it's organized crime. I get it. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, what they did was to benefit their people, the fellow Sicilians, Italians, right? Their fellow people who they knew had to move to America to start a better life for themselves, who they knew didn't have the resources necessary. They said, we're going to do the bad so that the good at the end of the day can be better. Listen, if black men felt so bad in the 60s, 70s, and 40s because of what the white man did to them and this and that, I'd give them a pass if they wanted to get into organized crime and truly make the community better. But they got into thug crime, killed their fellow brethren, continuously kill and harm women and children, have no regard for human life, lead the jailhouse population, and have done nothing to uplift the black community. I'd give them a pass for crime, for God's sakes, if they actually did and bettered the community. They didn't build any businesses. They didn't build any gas stations. They didn't build any, I don't know, whatever else that the mob did that was brilliant. They didn't do anything. Rather, they'll sit back and watch The Godfather, not Kevin Samuels, who calls himself a godfather, which is a slap in the face to every single mobster that's really living and alive. You think you're a godfather. Nigga. Alexander, welcome to the stream, Alexander. Always good to have you on the channel. Now, Alexander, the floor is yours.
Yeah, honest truth, I just wanted to say, welcome back, brother. We all missed you, man.
Thank you so much, Alexander. It means a lot, man. You know, it was definitely an interesting time. I think it was, man, almost 3 weeks, you know, I was gone. It was a good amount of time, and I'm glad to be back, bro. You know, we're back. We're going full steam ahead. A lot of good stuff coming up for the channel, man. I don't know if you caught, but last time I got another mic right here. We're getting ready to do interviews. I have a black man we're going to be interviewing first. He was a part of the military, came from his mother abandoned him at a gas station. At 7 years old, she told him to go get a bag of chips. He came out, she was gone. He walked back into the gas station. They called the police. They took him to a child like jail facility type thing that night. He went to foster care the next day. This man is successful now, married to a black woman, has kids. I met him at the gun range. As a matter of fact, he's a gun instructor. He was part of the military. He doesn't have to work a day in his life. This black man has every excuse to hate black women, to hate women in general, to hate the world. He has every excuse, but he's done well for himself. So he'll be on the panel talking soon, and the fire in the kitchen is getting ready to be crunk to the maximum level of heat on these ignorant Negroids, Alexander. I can't wait for y'all to see and hear all of this, Alexander, but it's so good to be back. It's good to be back. You know, the channel's giving you a lot of love. Raise Your Sons Right says, we love you, Alexander. And I'm just glad to have you on the channel. I'm glad to be back too, man. I missed you, boss, man. Everything been okay?
Yep, I'm still getting my story done. I'm doing chapter 1 as we speak.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I saw your video when you came back, but I was too late because I was on another panel watching watching another divested black woman's channel and the TikToks, and I don't. And here's the thing: when black men said white men don't want them, how come on Eddie Ateem's channel? And I also seen this 4 days ago. How come Eddie Ateem has the receipts that shows? Well, he has TikTok videos that show that black women are marrying different races, and there are videos that show that black women are marrying other races. But
it's very true.
But the black men and the white men don't want to believe that. And I said we have to separate white men who would date and marry black women from those who are on the manosphere. We have to do that because then we're lumping every single white, Asian, and Hispanic men into the manosphere, and that's not right nor cool.
And Alexander, to your point, great point, Alexander. To your point, here's the deal: the next generation that's coming up under us, those white boys don't care about race. They don't even see race. Listen, my sisters go to an all-white school. All right, both of them, one of them has a black boyfriend, but both of them have dated white boys. They both gone to the prom with white boys. There's no problem. They don't. The next generation doesn't even see race, to be completely honest with you. Like, it's not even a problem to them. They're doing dances on TikTok all day, every day, hanging out with each other. They're pushing Black Lives Matter on a lot of their social media platforms. They don't see race. And to be honest, most white men have no problem dating and or marrying a black woman. Make no mistake about it. Most of them would have no problem doing that at all. Like, at all. No problem whatsoever. And so it's just another hateful coping mechanism that black men love to once again destroy and continually cause pervasive hatred, bigotry, and ignorance peruse to the black woman's mindset to continually bring down the community. It's like the little imp on your shoulder saying, constantly reminding you, hey, you can't do it. Hey, you're not good enough. Hey, but you might have done this right. Hey, you might have graduated college, but guess what? You're still black. Hey, you might have got your doctorate degree, but guess what? That makes you masculine now. It's like this continual reminder that you always ain't shit. That's what the new modern day black man is upholding in the black community. The white people in general aren't even white supremacists anymore. It's the black men that are the new white supremacists that are somehow holding their own women to ambiguous racial laws that they feel like they need to abide by. It's 2021. Nobody cares about any of that crap anymore. You'll see people, all kinds of people marching in the street for Black Lives Matter. Other races legitimately believe that, but it's the Negroids who are killing the black people. White men don't want you. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go off my homeboy because he just got a pound. I'm gonna off my homeboy because I don't know, he looked at me wrong. Black men are the main purveyors of white supremacy, or past ancient day white supremacy. Alexander, I'll let you have your final words right now. Go ahead. And congratulations, Alexander, for actually making progress in what you told me you were going to do. I've been curious about that, and I'm glad to hear that you started it. Keep it up, okay? I'll let you have your final words.
All right, and
really quickly, hold on, Alexander. Jake, listen, if you don't hop on the panel, Jake, I'm not going to keep going back and forth with you. The mods are just going to ban you. I'm going to let the mods ban you at this point, or I'll ban you myself. I'm not going to let you keep just putting words in. If you feel so strongly, bring your intellectually guided, minded self onto my panel and then talk with me directly, as men do. I don't talk through text messages all day. If I want to talk to somebody, I call them. I don't even text them most of the time if they're a man specifically. I call. So bring yourself onto the panel and talk with me directly. I'm not going to keep reading your words while you're hiding behind a keyboard screen or a computer screen like a keyboard warrior that you are. Okay? You have one. This is your last chance. Reminder. Go ahead, Alexander.
Here's the thing. I made 2 videos. One of them is that black women need to do better because, and here's the thing, I'm tired of black women calling in to Kevin Samuel's show because they want a trauma bond with a man that wants to berate them. I'm sick and tired of it. It has black women.
You know, Alexander, this is the thing, Alexander. This is the thing. The thing is that black women are so loyal. Black women are still trying to work it out and still trying to make it happen, even though every single chat that is on Kevin Samuel's stream most of the time is doing nothing but berating and calling them linebackers and calling them this and calling them that, as if we didn't go through everything in slavery, as if black men aren't responsible for black women losing generations and generations and thousands upon thousands of prospective lives due to their inadequacy to protect them from the slave ships that came to conquer and conquest upon their lands, as if it isn't their fault as men. Even still, black women remain loyal to them. And Alexander, I'm going to take you down. Thank you so much for calling, and make sure you call again soon. The black woman still tries to give black men chances, even in the midst of being live on Tevin Wamuel's The Fraud Father stream, seeing the very black men that she's trying to do better for and by, berating and admonishing her. God have mercy. Alexander has a great point there. It is frustrating, but it just goes to show how loyal black women are. It hurts. It hurts, and I hate to see it, but it's powerful though. It's powerful. It's so powerful. So powerful. I'm read a couple of these comments really quickly for you. Go back a little bit. Hey, Used, good to see you in here. Maya. All right, let's see what I didn't get to cover. Marina says, true. I've dated men of all means. I dated men of all means. I've dated men of means of all races. I cannot read. No problem with race whatsoever. Yeah. Let's be honest here. Especially if you're a better looking or average to better than average looking person. Man, dudes don't care. Men do not care. Men are men. If you treat that guy right, if you're actually loyal to him, if you're actually the woman that he claims doesn't exist, it don't matter what race he is. He's going to treat you like a unicorn. He's going to be loyal to you. That's just the way men are hardwired. White men don't want you, according to my statistics, even though I'm not married to my girl. Even though I'm part of the statistics too, and I actually play into the single baby mother and single baby fatherhood rate. White men don't want to marry you either. All right. Well, so now's the point where we start talking about the diversity. Women are starting to leave the oppressive culture to seek refuge in other cultures and idealistic perspectives on life in order to survive. What we're seeing right now for the push for divest, for the push to interracial dating, for the push to, whether it be do OnlyFans, or the push to do this, the push to do that, it's evolution of women. It's evolution of people for the modern advance of technology in the 21st century. As women saying, okay, men are starting to lose favor and men are starting to give up on us and men are starting to be hateful towards us. What can I do as a woman to ensure that my future generations and lineage continues to thrive? And so essentially civilization can continue forward. Well, I could do this. I could do that. I could become more independent. I could do this. What we're seeing right now is nothing but the next step of human evolution. This is completely natural in the progression. If men say that they don't want to be the typical men and the stereotypical, prototypical, traditional type men anymore in society because the women are doing this and do that, then the women are going to mirror the next step of evolution and their perspectives. What does that mean? That means that they're going to start to handle jobs differently. They're going to start to do different things with their own belief systems, with their own ways to monetarily sustain themselves in life, because it's a reflection of evolutionary perspective between the races. This is natural. This is how civilization evolves. This is completely 1000% the way it's going to go down. If as a man you decide that you want to go your own way, then the women are going to do the very same thing. If you want to be a MGTOW guy, you can't get upset at the girls who do OnlyFans. It doesn't work that way. You've gone your own way, so has she. You don't want to marry her, so she's going to find somebody to go ahead and supply her financially so she can keep continuing to thrive in her female, feminine energy. She's going to go to school so she can provide for herself, so she can continue to actually provide and manifest that feminine, female energy for herself. Regardless of whether or not you think that going to school and getting a doctorate as a female is masculine, it absolutely 1000% isn't. It is adult-like to be able to understand that your counterparts and your co-cohorts in the economic, socioeconomic race in America don't have your back. And so the mature adulthood thing to do would be to say, since I don't have any backing, since my group of men are the least desired, least economically provisional, least economically earning, least intelligent, out of every man in America, it's probably smart if I start taking up the reins to my own future and generational lineage. That's evolution. That's natural progression. That's what women are starting to do now. Love Mango says, honest. Michael Holmes, good to have you in here, brother. All right, brother, tell the truth or shut up. I thought you were complimenting Michael. I should have known you're a guy. Now, Michael, if you're gonna insult me, I'd prefer if you insult me with proper grammatical English. It's hard for me to take the insult if I can't understand what you're saying, Michael. Okay, everybody else in the chat, maybe it's coincidental that they're mostly women and they have proper grammatical English for the most part. They can speak relatively well, Michael. Okay, so if you're gonna insult somebody, make sure that you're not insulting yourself in the process. Jesus Christ. So many live streams. Well, I appreciate your time for being here while you're here, Maya. You can always catch this on the replay as well. The replay of the live streams are great because we still have the live chat actually going. during the replay, and so it feels like you're kind of live, right? It feels like you're kind of live. Shan Moon says, regarding the mob, please look into the blood feuds in Albania and Italy. It's a horrible culture, and black men are inspired by the mob. The feud culture killed women and children. Difference is Italian culturally evolved in the U.S. And yeah, listen, bad people are all in the world. All right, there's bad people everywhere. Bad people are killing women and children in Africa. If we're being honest with you, let's be honest. How many times have we heard Boko Haram and Nigerian people killing and abducting all these girls in Africa? This happens all around the world. I'm saying specifically in the United States, right? In the U.S., organized crime and crime in general was used at one point or another by the Italian Sicilian mob. And I said this, Italian Sicilian. I don't know about all these other mobs. I'm speaking specifically on the most powerful and the most economically, provisionally a well-to-do mob that ever existed in the history of mobs. The Sicilian mob, they did things differently, and that's the reason why we only make movies about them. We don't make movies about all the other mobs that were killing women and children over there and whatever it might be. They didn't have the impact, and I hate to say, obviously they had an impact because they're taking away and destroying women and children's lives, but they didn't have the legendary impact that the Godfather type figures did, right? So I get it. Bad stuff happens everywhere. I get it. All right. Yeah, because it's not just a coincidence we're smarter. I mean, yeah, for being honest, the IQs of women are higher than the IQs of men. There are more college graduates that are women than there are that are men. Women also outlive men, you know, whether that be because men like to do skydiving and riding dirt bikes and motorcycles. I don't know. But coincidence or not, I don't know. Yes, Blue Waters. My initials are, let me drop my Cash App link. Thank you so much for donating. And a huge shout out to the donators. Y'all don't have to donate. It means the world, though. You know, when y'all do, just to support. You know, that means the world, guys and girls, guys and gals. Yes, my initials are JW. Taylor, I don't know. This is what we deal with most of the time. This is why they don't want to come onto the panels, though. They don't want to come onto the panels because they know obviously if they hop on the panels most of the time, they're gonna end up looking like a fool. You know, it's like, dude, your phone freaking tells you how to type grammatically correct sentences. It'll underline the word that's not a word. It'll underline parts of your sentence that isn't grammatically correct. Like, bro, come on, bro. Jesus. I just, Marina said we don't speak in dust in here. Absolutely not. We don't speak dust in here. Nia said, right. It's probably a good idea to be able to provide for yourself. Right. I mean, geez, God forbid. I mean, and like I said, they always like to make this argument in comparison. Well, the black man only makes $10,000 less than the average white man. Okay, but the average white man knows somebody or is it part of a racial demographic that owns 95% of America. So let's not compare apples to dragon fruit here. Okay. And aside from that, still, the average black man isn't earning what the average white man is. Even if it was $1,000 difference, you're still comparing apples to oranges. I agree. I agree with JoJo 1. I'll drop the link again. You don't want to talk on the stream or on the panel, and you will be blocked if you keep criticizing the live stream. Moreover, if you can't even speak English. My phone's getting ready to die here, Blue. So if you did donate at some point or another, the phone that my Cash App is on, I want to thank you. Even if you didn't donate, I thank you anyways. Not a problem. Thank you to all the donators so far on the channel. We've had almost $30 of donations. Always is an honor. YouTube pays like extremely late. Like if you guys ever have a YouTube channel, the AdSense part is like wild. You know, like I don't know when it's gonna. Magnificent one said I watched one of your vids on police officers. It was good. Yeah, definitely. And I kept some of the vids of my older days up there. The police officer one, it had some misogynistic undertones to it, and it was from the time when I believed that women were bad and men good. And so, but for the most part, it was in essence a cry for women to stay away from positions like police officer and things of that nature, because it's very dangerous, and don't want women in harm's way, man. So Organic Black says a lot of manosphere trolls are mentally ill. I agree 1000%. I think he was talking to one of the to one of the voices in his head. That's great. I agree. Like, come on, bro. I can't even read your insult. Jesus. Help me out now. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you insult me, and I can't even read it. help you, dude. I want to talk about this Goldman Sachs $10 billion investment. I can't think of the numbers that I heard, but the amount of entrepreneurs that are Black women is far higher than the amount of Black men who are entrepreneurs. And this isn't coincidence either, right? We're speaking a lot about coincidences. Women and the sisterhood stick together far more than the Black male demographic sticks together. Women will call each other up. Hey, sister, you doing good? You doing this? Yeah. Everything's good. Women will speak to each other. Women will conversate with each other. Women will have dialogue with each other at a far larger rate than particularly Black men will. I can't tell you how many times I've walked by a Black guy in the store and I'll say, hey, brother. And he'll just, put his head towards the ground and walk past me. I'm just like, all right. You have a good day, brother. And the guest that we're getting ready to speak to, the Black gentleman who's in the military, who's done very well for himself and has a Black wife, Black family, beautiful situation for himself. The guy we're getting ready to talk to, he'll tell you the same thing. And matter of fact, that was a part of our introduction conversation. He was talking to a Black woman that he was training at the range, and they were talking, having a good time. And I said, oh, he's a cool guy. I said, man, it's a cool Black dude, and he likes guns. I said, what is this? Am I on Mars right now? He's a legal to own gun owner, and he's actually friendly. What? I said, hey, man. Hey, I'm Jonathan, bro. I wanted to ask you for a couple tips. He walked up to me. He said, oh, yeah, man, definitely. We got to talking. We talked for about an hour. I didn't even shoot a round off for an hour. And he was like, man, it's really refreshing to talk to you, bro. What do you do? He saw my watch. I got my father gave me this watch. It looks like a Rolex, but it's not, but it's really nice. He said, I like your watch, man. What do you do? I said, oh, I do insurance sales and I do YouTube a little bit. And he said, oh, what do you do YouTube about? I said, well, to be quite frank with you, I tell Black men that they need to get their shit together. And he said, really? I said, yeah, man, don't take offense to it. And he's like, oh, I don't, bro. I believe the same thing. He's like, as a matter of fact, and that's when he started telling me about his life story. I said, brother, I'd love to have you on the channel, man. He was like, man, I would be honored to be on the channel. He's like, I wish there were more brothers like you, man. You've been friendly to me. You've been talkative with me. He was like, I don't get that with Black dudes. He said most Black guys, they come into the range, if they're even able legally to come into the range, they'll come into the range and I'll say hi to them and they walk over to the booth. I point to the booth and we never talk. He's like, man, it's refreshing, bro, to be able to talk with another Black brother as if like our white counterparts. That's what he joked about, with me too. And that's sad. Welcome to the panel, Black Women Sisterhood. Great to have you back on the panel, Black Women Sisterhood. The floor is yours.
Yeah, hi, True. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. It's good to be here tonight. How's your day been? How's your weekend been?
It's been really good. Thank you.
Awesome.
I just want to say welcome back. I'm so glad that you're back. I did miss your panel, and so I'm happy that you're back and everything. And like we all been, I'm pretty sure we all have been like waiting for you to come back. So it's so good to have you back.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an honor to be back. Thank you so much, Black Women Sisterhood.
You're welcome. So it was two things I actually wanted to say because I saw your last panel, but I came really late. Mm-hmm. And so I saw Stempitis and he I don't know, I'm kind of confused as to what do the minister want us to do at this point, because at one point he said, oh well that's your problem, why are you guys so loyal to Black men? It's like, well, isn't every woman supposed to be loyal to the men of their race? Like I don't know, like I feel like divestment it's getting popular now, but most people are fairly, they prefer people in their own race. And so I just didn't understand, like, are we being criticized now for, like, you just can't win. Either you're going to be criticized for being loyal to Black men, or you're going to be criticized for swirling. It's just like, you don't know what is left and what is right with them. And that's just confusing.
Absolutely. And going back to the beginning of the live stream and the theme of this live stream, essentially what we had here was Derrick Jaxn, a well-to-do, well-earning, clean-cut, well-spoken, respectful, so we thought on
he's the educated lane.
It's. I mean, now we realize that he's just a no good guy. But the bigger thing is that if we had just taken him from his position of where he was, this is the prototypical guy that I would want my daughter to date. He's fit. He's a good looking guy. He's well spoken. He does well for himself. He's uplifting black women, but they like demonize Derrick Jaxn, right? Oh, you're pandering to black women. You're this. You're that. Black women were just happy to have a black man who, could, speak on their behalf. They were like, oh man, we have a couple black men that are out here that are good for us. And so the men like Derrick Jaxn gave other black men hope and directly conflicted and contradicted what they were saying, which is that, well, black women, I don't know, they're doing black men wrong and, whatever it might be. Well, it's like, okay, well, let's see. Derrick Jaxn had a huge following, right? Huge following. There were black women that were specifically looking for men like Derrick Jaxn, black men who were doing well. God forbid a black woman wants a black dude who's fit and earning enough in life to be able to provide a comfortable lifestyle in America. God forbid any woman want a guy who's doing well in life, right? Lord have mercy. How dare you want a guy that's doing well in life? You evil woman, you, right? This is what they're saying. So you have that aspect of it where if outwardly appearance was the truth, or was the fact of the matter, he was a great guy. But on the opposite end, now that we know he is who he is, they still hate him. Moreover, somehow it became black women's fault that he cheated on black women. Like, now they're saying, oh, see, we told you, black women. We told you that Derrick Jaxn was lying to you. We told you. So you're mad. So, okay. So you're mad at the black women because they believe that Derrick Jaxn was a good guy? That's the logic that you're going to stand on, Manosphere? That's the logic you're going to stand on, black dude? You're mad because they thought he was a good guy. How is Derrick Jaxn cheating a black woman's problem? And every single red pill channel, if you just type in Derrick Jaxn cheating, these guys are destroying black women because Derrick Jaxn, a black man, cheated on a loyal black woman. So yeah, to your point, BWS, they're damned if they stick with black men. They're damned if they decide to start divesting. And this divesting movement, it's new. This isn't something that's been happening for longer than 10 years even. This is relatively new, right? But they're cursed either way. That's why I say, listen, don't even care anymore at this point. If you can find a good black man, you have literally won the lottery. Literally, it's like winning a lottery ticket at this point. Do not hold yourself up. Don't wait for me. Don't pass go and collect $200. Go ahead and do whatever you need to do. Because most of the most of the men in our community are not going to wait up for you, nor do they want to. Really quickly, Siamese Cat, I'm gonna put you on mute. I'm gonna let Jedi Mike speak really quickly. Jedi Mike, it's great to have you on the stream. I saw your comments and I appreciate your support. The floor is yours.
How you doing, man?
Very well, sir. How are you tonight?
Doing good. I'm relatively new to your channel. Hello, everyone in the chat. But yeah, I would just like I just want to comment on the whole Derrick Jaxn situation, because one thing that is very appalling, that one, he's given brothers a bad name. I had no issue with him. I wasn't really a fan of his in the past, because even then, when I show like this content to my own mother, even my mother being a good judge of character, she can smell like, no, something ain't right here. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, it's just the way he is, and just like in the car, like one, they make the distinction with why is he doing in his car? Why do you never see his wife? Why do you don't never, see him in his house? And what happened is, what give it as a giveaway is the fact that if he has something to hide, of course he can go in his car, so he's away from his wife. And then when I'm seeing like people blaming, saying, oh, it's black women, the fault that they fall up to them. And even Derrick Jaxn himself say, you know what, these women, they just put me on a pedestal. And it was called deflection. And then that, to me, that's not manly enough, for him to say that, oh, well, you guys ate up my content so much to the fact that you put me in a pedestal, thinking I wasn't the very guy that you should be fearing, and it's just really frustrating to hear that the fact that even when they bring up the wife in the video and stuff, them dogging him, the fact of dogging his wife, and him not even defending his wife at all. That's another thing too that no one mentioning, the fact that people questioning about her bonnet, questioning about all this stuff, and she had to get on live herself to defend herself. And to me, I'm like, nah, that's no excuse. You basically letting your wife fight your own battles that you created, and that's just appalling. Especially the fact that he had the nerve to mention Jesus and saying that, I wasn't following God and all this stuff before,
my
but now
God.
I am, and it's just really just a bunch of bull, and I'm sick and tired of it. It's hypocrisy.
It's one of those things where, and thank you, Jedi Mike. I'm gonna put you on mute, and we'll come back to you in a second. It's one of those things where the black women at the end of the day are the ones who end up losing, right? Because this guy's gonna come out on top. His wife has now been publicly like destroyed. I mean, how embarrassing is it to essentially have the man of everybody's stereotypical dreams for any race of woman, right? Only to come to the realization that you now are on an international sphere of like donkeyness looking like you just humiliated. It's like, Lord have mercy. It's just it's bad for black women right now because the good black men are trash, and then most of the black men to begin with are trash too. They feel the brunt of this right now. Loren, welcome to the panel. I'm gonna let Siamese Cat go, and then Loren, it's good to have you back, Loren. Great, really good to see you. Siamese Cat, it's your first time on the panel. I want to see who you are. What did you have to say? And the floor is yours. Let me unmute you. Go ahead, Siamese Cat.
I'm the one who's been commenting. What you've shared is things I didn't think of before regarding the whole Derrick Jaxn situation.
Mm-hmm.
That while he's been telling everybody to love black women, that's another thing about the black men or good men in general. Damned if they do, damned if they don't, as far as showing respect to a woman at all.
Right. Yeah, no, it's very true. I think the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway is that with the Derrick Jaxn thing, I put you on mute. We'll come back to you here in a little bit, Siamese. Thanks for your input. Is that once again, it's the black women, unfortunately, who are going to take the brunt of this. Even though Derrick Jaxn dealt with women of all races, he talks with white, Asian, Mexican, Latino. He talks with women of all races. He gave advice to all races of women. Somehow, the black man only addresses the black women in every single video that they put out on Derrick Jaxn. It's because of the simple fact that he's black. And the crazier thing, once again, at the end of the day, is that it only makes the black men in this case, and I'm not sure who you date, but it only makes the black men look worse in this case. It's like, dude, like I said earlier, they asked me questions, they emailing, well, why won't you talk about Derrick Jaxn? Why are you hiding from talking about Derrick Jaxn? Fool, he makes you look bad. So I'll go ahead and talk about him. I'll talk about him for the rest of the year if I want to. You're a black man just like he is. And guess what? You're not making the amount of money he is. You're not as good looking as he is. You're not as fit as he is. So you can't compare yourself to him, but you're just as toxic, if not more toxic, less successful than he is. You're just as hateful, if not more hateful than he is. And you're more destructive than the black community than Derrick Jaxn could ever be. So yeah, I'll talk about Derrick Jaxn. You're right beside with him. Go ahead. Congratulations. Loren, welcome to the panel. Always good to see you. The floor is yours, Loren. Yes, Loren is gorgeous. I know. I love looking at Loren. Hello, Loren. Oh, I think. Hold on. I think I unmic you.
Oh,
go ahead, Loren.
Am I unmuted? Okay, yeah. The the Derrick Jaxn situation, man, that thing has been bubbling all over the manosphere for ever since it happened. But the video of him talking in third person, watching himself, and him reacting to his own cheating confession, is kind of like what manosphere men are doing right now. What a lot of black men manosphere, not even necessarily manosphere men, but a lot of black men that are saying "I told you so." It's almost like the same thing. It's like they don't recognize that that's a black man. That's you. That's your image. You're not. I don't know if you've heard about these stimulus check killings where these Pookies and Ray Rays are killing these women over the stimulus checks. Yes. Black men. O'Shea had another post where he's like talking about how women need to stop choosing these men, and the men are the it's your fault because this is the man that you chose, as if she chose a man that she knew would kill her over a check over $1,400, as if she knew that. How is she supposed to know that? So it's like let's say a new domestic violence laws were to come out of these killings, because there's been like several so far. Are those laws going to affect just Pookie and Ray Ray, or is that going to affect men or black men? Okay, because they're probably the ones that need the stimulus checks more so than other races right now. I don't know. I mean, everybody needs these checks. So a lot of people lost their jobs and stuff like that. But y'all act like the laws are going to be made only for Pookie and Ray Ray and only for bad black men and this type of black man. it's like you're watching yourself in third person and you're not recognizing that this is you, this is your image. And it's not, you're not, this is not a credit for you. It's not a good look for you.
Just like Tay Ashley just said, hey, see, I told you, well, we're all trash.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yes. And so this is why the whole divest movement is happening, because we know that already. And every time y'all want to say not all of us, there's not alls, you know, but I don't, a lot of them don't like Derrick because they think that his standards, they say that he's correct, but his standards are no one can live up to those standards. And that's the real problem. His standards are too high and it's not realistic. But so everything he's saying is true though, because I don't think his information has been wrong or incorrect at all. Like he says things that are true, but even he himself cannot live up to it.
Absolutely.
So I don't even know what their beef is with him. What is he saying that's so wrong?
Yeah, the bigger thing is this, and I'll read the private comments that we have. Jedi Mike will get back to you in 1 second. Siamese agrees with Jedi Mike. Jedi Mike says it's true narcissism. He exposes a detriment to our image. And the bigger thing is this. They hate it because essentially what he was saying, if in a perfect world we waved the magic wand and Derrick Jaxn was the embodiment of everything that he said, is the perfect man for all of our daughters to marry, for all of our women to marry. He spoke with love, reverence, respect, with financial adaptability. He had everything from the fitness, the good looks, to this, to that. Essentially, he is the perfect guy, right? Whether that be for Black women, white women, Asian women, the dude's top notch. But moreover, the way he carried himself in his words, aside from his actions, lent itself over to such purity, such progressiveness, that it shined the light on the skeletons in their closet. The lack of financial adaptability that most Black men or men who are earning less than the average amount of man, white, whatever it might be in America, it shines the light on their skeletons. And so they see Derrick Jaxn, from what he was saying before the cheating scandal, as a threat. Because here you have this good-looking dude saying, listen, man, it's not cool to talk to women like this. It's not cool to say this to a woman. It's not cool. Oh, well, Derrick Jaxn is just pandering. He's a simp. He doesn't understand because back in 1942, my grandfather came home from war and found out that his wife was in a Bible club that was being taught by a male pastor. And so they'll use these like far left, just weird ideas to base their hatred of not just Black women, but women in general for, based off of something that either the A, they never experienced, or B, is so long ago that you just need to let that pain go, my friend. And so here you have Derrick Jaxn, who's mature, who's saying, listen, we need to respect women. We need to do this. And it infuriates them. They're like, respect women? How can I respect women? Respect women? This nigga, he don't understand what's going on. He doesn't this, he doesn't that. And that's why I said before, even if Derrick Jaxn was to right now say, you know what? I'm with the manosphere. I'm with the red pill and the MGTOW guys. Women are wrong. Women are evil. Women are this. I've changed my mind. They still wouldn't accept him because at the end of the day, what he got popular and known for was something that was essentially words based out of love, respect, wisdom, and adoration, which the manosphere, no matter what race, lacks 1000%. These men are evil. They want to do nothing but see the world burn by and large. They offer nothing of constructive criticism or critique. They offer nothing of solution-based results or resources to help the community actually grow, the community that they're so detrimentally being abhorred and destroyed by. They offer nothing other than wanting to see that same community, which is what we see Black men doing so often, destroy the community that they come from, that they're afflicted by. Jedi Mike, I'll let you go. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, brother, and nice to meet you, other ladies in the chat, in the panel and everything. But yeah, it was just like it was true narcissism. Even the fact that when he was insinuating, when he was talking himself in the third person, when you talk yourself in the third person and when it's yourself, what you didn't notice the fact that he's actually trying to separate himself from his own actions. And what he tried to do is say, oh well, it's not me, you know. So I'm gonna talk. Derrick Jaxn is not saying I did this. And that's it. He's not holding himself to accountability that he did. Now, there's still some things not to be left unsure about in terms of even the situation with the other woman, them possibly having a child and everything like that. But, or even then, like when the wife left and when she came back and had a discussion with him and actually trust him again. I don't know that, but that's between them and their marriage. But even then, it's just that as Black men, to me, his like I said, mentioned in the chat, his exposure is a detriment to our image. I mean, is that to the men that actually put into the work, to the men that like myself have been raised by my mother and my father, who have both been pastors, and my family, we're Nigerian. Like, we don't know. This is just this, even doing this to our own women. It's like it's bringing almost dishonor to not only to ourselves, to our family. You know, like
Absolutely.
it's just a crime. The fact that we're not holding ourselves accountable. And like I said, like when I'm talking the honest truth here, but I just find this channel and I like the way you speaking, in the beginning of the live and everything. That I just know I have a responsibility knowing that I cannot hold my own sisters. Not trying to protect them when I'm just sitting back and watching them. That just, to me, I'm not a man for not doing that. And people want to call saying a simp, the MGTOW and stuff like that. And let me, if I can, I don't want to spend a moment of time, but about the MGTOW thing.
Take your time.
But most of the MGTOW thing, see, show me a competitive, successful MGTOW that's self-proclaimed in media today. See, the problem is that these guys, most of them, and excuse my language, but they're virgins. They all don't have a lot of experience in life. They also have broken relationships, saying, well, it's because Becky and Karen said no to me when I asked her to prom. Well, then that's why, I guess all women are trash now. And that's the thing. It's like, none of them have actually experienced life. A lot of them are in my age. I'm 22 years old. But a lot of them are younger, maybe 17, 16, 18, around that age. And a lot of them don't, as men, we don't know who we are yet. So the thing is that it's almost like kind of like a cult following in terms of following in our bitterness, our anger, and our rage. And that actually is just not breaking the relationships in our own community. And as my father says, like, there is no black community without black relationships. And the fact that if we're going to do this and we're going to keep feeding into our anger, then we're not being men in general. We're basically being grown males. We're not being grown men.
Absolutely. And Jedi Mike, so well, perfectly said. And to prove your point specifically about the dishonor that we are showing, not just our family, but our ancestors who were literally killed in masses, to our ancestors who fought for every right that we have now, to our ancestors who fought for the freedom of speech, who died in the Civil War along the white brethren that fought with them as well. We are spitting on their graves, literally, black men by and large at this point in America. Our ancestors are rolling in their graves and looking it down with such heavy hearts from wherever realm that you believe in at this point of post-Earth existence. All right. And I'm going to read this super chat from Black Women Sisters because this is a great point. But to your point, and like what you said, a lot of what I say on this channel, the accountability is golden, not just for black men, but men in general. Other races hold their men accountable far more than we do. And this is why we're in the position that we are now, because if you decide to hold a black man accountable, you're called a simp, right? Like we spoke about. If you decide to hold a black man accountable, you're seen as a panderer. They call me a pander bear all the time for the simple fact that I hold black men accountable, right? And here's the thing. It's not a problem until their sister runs into another black man that believes this hateful ignorance that the manosphere preaches. Their sister is domestically, physically, mentally, spiritually abused. And then all of a sudden, now they have an issue because it's their sister. And ain't nobody going to mess with my sister. And they're going to go blow off the whole family's head off. They're going to go burn the house down, shoot the house up, kill everybody and the kids inside of the house because it's different once it matters to them. But until then, they're part actively of the same problem that they're going to have to find a solution to in the future. And I liken it to this illusion in this metaphor. Imagine there's a big cliff and everybody is told at the end of the cliff that there's a pot full of money at the end of this cliff. At the very edge, before the pot falls off, full of gold coins, whoever gets there first gets to take it. So everybody's running to the edge of the cliff. And you realize that the edge of cliff is just the edge of a cliff. And you're going to fall over into a cavern of spiky rocks. But by the time that you're at the edge of the cliff, it's too late because the pressure from the people that are pushing you behind the cliff are going to cause you to fall over the edge of it into your demise. And so you turn around at the last second and you say, wait. There's no money here. There's nothing good here. This will be the death of us. But there's such a momentum going behind you that the destruction is done. That's the manosphere in 2021 right now. They're going after the hearts and the minds of the kids now, and they don't understand the irreparable damage that it's going to cause to families. But in time and over time, hopefully we can start to save one by one, just as we found you tonight, just as I found Brendan Alexander. Just I found other people who have emailed and reached out to me, men who are a part of the community who say, you know what, I need to hold myself and other men accountable. I won't participate in Kevin Samuels' stream, but just because it's entertaining. I had a man come on the panel last week and say, well, I believe everything you're saying, Truth, but I listen to Kevin Samuels because it's entertaining. Now, my brother, it doesn't work that way. There's nothing entertaining about berating our sisters. There's nothing entertaining about encouraging hateful remarks towards women in general. That's not entertaining to me. I don't find humor in that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, man. Absolutely. I know
Absolutely.
I'm right. So we need to start holding, like you said, men accountable and making sure that we continue to spread this message. I encourage you. You sound well-spoken, my brother, well-educated. Start a YouTube channel because the internet is the next mass media influence that we have going into the next millennium, decade. I don't know, bicentennial year, whatever terminology you want to say for it. Go ahead, Jedi Mike. The floor is yours.
And absolutely, and thank you for speaking. And I am trying to work on a YouTube channel, but and I also want to hold myself accountable too. And I don't want to stand before you guys, and especially as a fraud. But like myself, I have been like I have all those other friends that I talk to, or even other people that I hang out with that either try to almost recruit me into that MGTOW or ideology. And when speaking on Kevin Samuels, now I used to follow him prior to the average at best and age, or like when he was going into the whole relationship, like he was doing videos about basically about Black professionalism and business and stuff. This was about like a year or so ago. So I was watching him on that. But then currently I just been like watching his content, and when he was talking about saying that, oh well, men, we don't cheat, well, but women, when they do, they cheat. And to me, that's just not really how can we claim to be high value men not holding ourselves accountable? And at that, I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of just a bunch of bullshit. And with that, I'm just saying, I know in my past that I haven't done the best of my ability as a man to, not help my own people, especially help my sisters. And I know that I have more life to give on this earth than I have lived. And I know that I can't give, the naysayers, not the MGTOW, not the red pill or anything that right to mess with my ideology right now. I know I'm 22 years old, but I got a lot to learn. And hopefully when I create a YouTube channel, eventually that hopefully I can help speak wisdom like you share wisdom with me, sir. But thank you.
An honor, Jedi Mike. I appreciate that so much, and I look forward to it. Whenever that happens, just be sure to give me an email, comment on my channel. In the About section, you can see my email. Reach out to me, and we'll make sure that we do everything we can to kind of get you started up and going. And we support you here. Everybody supports you here on this channel. Power is in unity, and there is power in numbers. So I can't wait till you do. I want to read the super chat really quickly. Black Woman Sister had a great point, but shouldn't we be allowed to use the same excuse and energy that they used for Kevin Samuels, which is to focus on the message and not the messenger? Kevin Samuels literally has said this. Women will say, well, are you married? Well, why does that matter? He sits back and he said, well, why does that matter? Well, aren't you divorced? Well, why does that matter? Is what I'm saying not true? Is what I'm saying not true? Well, no offense, Mr. Wamuels, Mr. Fraudfather. I personally wouldn't take advice on how to get rich from somebody who's homeless. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, but it matters a hell of a lot. Hello. That's a great comment, Black Woman Sisterhood. And to the same extent, right, in this case, see, we told you Derrick Jaxn isn't living what he's talking about. See, we told you this. Still, at the end of the day, okay, yeah, okay, he's not living what he's talking about. Having said that, if they want to use, because what they'll try and do is they'll try and say, well, if we're going to use what Black Woman Sisterhood said, then you also have to take into account that Derrick Jaxn was saying, well, you know what Derrick Jaxn was saying was still based out of love, respect, admiration, humility. Derrick Jaxn's message and Kevin Samuels' message are two very different messages. All right. So if we're going to take both parties at their word and not by their actions, 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 times, I'll take what Derrick Jaxn is saying on how to help women, how to act towards women, how to respect women, how to love women, over what Tevin Wamuels is saying. No point. All right. No contention. No, not even a contest. Two very different messages. Two very different people. And if we're listening to the words alone, there's no comparison. It's comparing apples to dragon fruit once again. So that's what I have to say to everybody who would retort, well, if you're going to use what Black Woman Sisterhood said, then technically we have to listen to what Kevin Samuels' words are instead of his actions. I'd rather listen to Derrick Jaxn. Loren, you've been waiting for a while. Siamese Cat, I'll let you go afterwards. Loren, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I just wanted to say on the subject of this this accountability, that's one of the things that just like Black men in general lack, is because they don't hold other men accountable. Here, they'll make excuses for why someone would kill off 4 people over a stimulus check and say, well, he just did that because he's Pookie and Ray Ray. But he's a Black man, is he not? And they have all the correction in the world for women. They got all the direction in the world for women. They got rules and regulations. They will run a list of everything that you're doing wrong and everything you should be doing right. You know, especially with the thing about, you know, oh my God, the weave, the makeup, the eyelashes. They got rules and regulations for everything, but don't want to hold men accountable. Why don't y'all have any smoke for these men? You know, if anything, if for all these men to be holding Derrick Jaxn accountable is not necessarily a bad thing, except for the fact that you're only doing that because you can't really go against anything that he was saying. You just didn't like what he was saying. You didn't like the skeletons that he was showing to be in your closet. You didn't like the fact that he expects you to live up to a high standard, even though he couldn't do it, even though he wasn't doing it. He definitely was a fraud. And I heard some things about him in the past, like a long time ago, that I didn't like, which is why I didn't follow him. And, you know, I don't really have to follow anybody to, you know, that degree to where he did something wrong and now you're all disappointed. He's an imperfect human. All right. Yeah. He's imperfect. So I didn't lose no sleep over Derrick Jaxn cheating on his wife. But you know what? The fraud father is just as much of a panderer to men as Derrick Jaxn was to women. And just mark my words, wait till he gets
I'll say that again. Yes.
Oh, I said the fraud father is just as much a panderer to men as Derrick Jaxn was to women. And wait for the day he gets exposed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Loren. Siamese Cat, I'll let you go. Alexander, you can go after Siamese Cat. Siamese Cat, I like what you said in the chat. You said at least Jaxn is a bit healthier than Scamuels. It's so true. I mean, when you listen to the messages, even though both men have done exactly the opposite of what they're teaching, I mean, essentially in some regards, if we just listen to the words alone, I mean, my God Almighty, I can't even listen to Scamuels for more than 10 minutes. It's like, man, dude. I mean, if this guy was in front of me in real life, we'd have a problem, a serious problem, might I add. Go ahead, Siamese. Oh, you're on mute. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
It's been said that the manosphere as a whole has a lot of neurodivergent people who may not know it. In other words, that they might be on the autism spectrum and don't know it. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but there have been some who left the manosphere who said that they had been diagnosed on the spectrum. Wow. Hence their troubles like socializing and with women. So we also got to keep our eye on our neurodiverse population because they're in danger from this, and our neurodiverse women. Our neurodiverse women are also in danger because many of us do not always fit the traditional stereotypes of women. And God forbid a woman be anything but the heteronormative box. That means she be anything but straight and want any more than just one guy or whoever she loves. So anything outside of the box.
Absolutely.
So any neurodiverse person, some might be more traditionalists, but there may be pressure on these neurodiverse folks who may not naturally fit it to mask like they do. Absolutely. As a cry for acceptance. And if you got any more questions about neurodiverse population, you can always ask me about it.
Nice. Siamese, listen, I think that was a remarkable point. I'll put you on mute for a second because I want to kind of retort and follow up with that. You brought up a huge point. And I want to read this comment before we dive into that. Black Woman Sisterhood says, when Kevin Samuels was holding men accountable, they called him gay. Now they love him. Listen, You can go back in Kevin Samuels' YouTube history archives. Go look at the numbers when Kevin Samuels Scamuels was talking about men needing to make more money, do better. At first, he started talking and addressing men specifically. His channel didn't grow at all. It wasn't until he started destroying publicly black women and the image of women in general that, because he talks to all races of women now, that all of a sudden his popularity just took off. World star hip hop, you're average at best, black woman? Oh, yeah, you can go a world star hip hop. It wasn't until he destroyed women that it took off, right? Now, he doesn't understand YouTube is run by women, and I'll tell you, eventually his channel will be taken down. However, he will reach 5 to 10 million followers before his channel is taken down. Just the other day, well, we'll talk about that later. Jedi Mike says, Kevin, you're spitting fire facts, Siamese cat. Absolutely. You're spitting absolute fire facts. And to that point of mental instability, Texas right now labels incels as domestic terrorists, right? I did a video on this a long time ago, actually, and my thoughts were differently than they are now. But the government systems have started to regulate the black pill, red pill, MGTOW movements, and have started and are actively watching people who have extremist views on social media sites. They're keeping a track on people. They really are. In Texas, once again, black pillars, guys who believe that women only like dudes who are, like, they call them Chads, Tyrones. They call the Indian really good looking guys, they call them I forget the name that they call them. It's some kind of funny name. But it's like a good looking Indian guy. I can't think of the name. They think that there's no hope for them because they're not 6'3". They don't have washboard abs. They don't make a certain amount of money, that they can't get a woman. And so essentially they call themselves black pillars or incels. And now at this point, governments are starting to recognize them as terrorists because they see that the mental instability has led to very bad situations, aka Elliot Rogers, a young man who went and killed a lot of women, following a post that he made saying he can't get a girlfriend, girls don't like him, this and that. He was mentally unstable and went out and did some horrific things. I covered a story the other day, Siamese, of a young black pill, red pill guy named Renegade One. The name of the YouTube live stream is The Destructive Nature of the Manosphere. Check it out. It talks about a guy who had 3,000 followers on YouTube, starting out very healthy and mentally balanced. After 3 years, eventually ended up killing himself. This was a man who led 3,000 other young men into mental instability and tells men, listen, women are this, women are that, women are bad, women are evil. I'm trying to make myself a better man by going my own way. And he ended up killing himself. So yes, you're exactly right. A lot of guys that find their way into this. Oh, you're muted. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
Sorry. What I was about to say is that a lot of these folks might actually be on the spectrum and don't know it.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, no, so true. It's so true.
Might be Asperger's too. Some of them. Mm-hmm. If you want me to, I could link some videos of them speaking out.
Yeah, well, you can email them to me. We're not going to cover too much of them right now, but yeah, Siamese, email at some point in my about section on the YouTube channel, and I'll check them out. Maybe we'll kind of make a shorter video at some point or another covering the mental instabilities.
Jedi, yes, persons on the autism spectrum can and do have empathy, but it's that there's different types. So yeah, absolutely. You might want to be careful about that.
Absolutely. Siamese, I'm going to put you on mute for a second. I'm going to let Alexander go. Alexander, welcome back to the panel. The floor is yours, my friend.
First off, I want to say hi, Lorraine, and hi, Semis. Cat. I'm sorry if I got the YouTube name wrong. And hello, Jedi Mike. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, bro. Thank you for correcting me, by the way.
It's no problem. It's no problem. Anyways, like, okay. Even I know. I'm starting to see that the manosphere is full of pedos and weirdos, like the comment section says. I've been knew this, and like I was starting to go down the rabbit hole, but then I was able to catch myself before I went down there. And with honest truth and everybody, and like I said, I made 2 videos. One of them is that I said black women have to do better. Now, I'm not saying it in manosphere talk. No, I'm saying it from as a black man that is tired of seeing black women hurt. And I said, black women, you're going on to Kevin Samuel's show. He berates you. Oh, and I also talk about the black love thing. And I said, where has it gotten you? Oh yeah, berated by black men and humiliate and others cheering, including the white men in the manosphere are starting to do that. And that is why I say black women, there is a law that was passed back then that says white men and black women can love whoever they want. Why are you still with these now? Now, here's the thing, and this is why the good black men are labeled with the manosphere, because all they see is the manosphere. I'm like, okay.
And Alexander, I'm gonna stop you right there. I like something that you said. Give me 1 second, Alexander. I like something that you said right there. Before I go on to that really quickly, I want to read a comment that I had, Alexander. So forgive me. Going back to the the manosphere is full of pedos and weirdos. Absolutely. I made a stream. I don't know if you saw it. Love Mangoes. The pedophilic nature of the manosphere, something is very wrong. Where men admittedly came onto my stream, said, yes, I have no problem bending 18-year-old girls over in my apartment and then kicking them the fuck out of the door. This is what a man literally said on my live stream. I kid you not. And so, yes, a lot of them even came to argue with me, saying that it's not pedophilia for going after an 18-year-old. I said, you're right. It's not pedophilia. The correct term is apophobia or aphobophilia. I don't know how to say it exactly. Laura Guerrero, one of the first people I always comment on live streams, told me aphobophilia is liking women from the age 15 to age 19. So there you go. If you believe that that's the word that's more accurately describing your manospheric brethren, that there you go. Does that sound a bit better for you, right? And so, but it is pedophilia, and here's why. You have somebody like Coach Greg Adams, which is the man that we were focusing on in that video, who's 50 years old, saying that he focuses on going for 18-year-old women because they're more malleable, they're easygoing, they're just better off to spend time with, they're not as argumentative and this and that. Now we know why he goes after 18-year-old girls. It's because he has pedophilic tendencies. Now let's subtract and say that, you know what, for the sake of time, he's not a pedophile just because she's 18 and that it's legal. Even though some of the guys let me know that 16 and 17 years is legal in some states for the age of consent. Let's just say that he's not a pedophile. Well, let's reduce her age by 18 years or 17 years, making her, I don't know, 1 year old, 2 years old. And God forbid I'm going to have to make this nasty metaphorical illusion. But at that point, he's still 38 or whatever. Do the math. I don't know, 28, 38. A 28-year-old with a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old is pedophilia. Just because she's 18, that 24-year age difference doesn't just mean that it's null and void. It's 24 years, 30 years age difference here. All right. Just because she's 18, 17 apparently, and 16 in some states does not mean that that's not pedophilia or pedophilic tendencies, because it is. So great point with that comment there. I just wanted to address that. Make sure you check out the pedophilic nature of the manosphere. It exposes everything that they say. That's what I talk about on this channel. They get so upset at me, and then I bring up the words with them saying exactly what I'm talking about. They say it for themselves, and they email me, oh, Truth, you're pandering. I'm just telling the truth from your own mouths. You wanted me to talk about Derrick Jaxn because you think it reflected bad on black women? I'll tell you the truth about Derrick Jaxn and how it reflects bad on black men, because Derrick Jaxn is not a black woman. There you go, Truth, pandering again. There he goes. Angry and helping out the black woman. I've said this before and I say it again. Maybe the white man needs to put his damn foot back on you Negroids' neck so our community can start to do better. Maybe they need to do that. The white man gave you niggas freedoms and you started killing yourselves. There you go, Truth, pandering to the black woman, putting us all in the same box. No, I don't have to do that. The statistics say that almost 50% of you have felony convictions within your life. But Truth, they lock up a lot of black dudes unjustly. Okay, cool. Black women, along with white men and white women started Black Lives Matter. Black men didn't start that. We know black men didn't start Black Lives Matter because niggas can't get together to start anything. There was a time when black men did come together and had Black Wall Street. Back when, once again, the white man really did have his foot on their necks. And as previously just stated within the last minute, white man gave you freedom. Black dudes started killing each other, spitting in our ancestors' face, ruining our image in front of other races, making us as the good black men and good black women of the community, and even those who aren't necessarily quote unquote good, but are a direct circumstantial result of their upbringing, their dilapidated environment. All right. It's a lot harder to be a productive member of society when you're looking at shoestrings hanging from telephone poles or electrical wires, when you're hearing gunshots every night or this or that. I understand and I get that. But still, at the end of the day, it's the black man who is the leader's responsibility, men in general who are the leaders and the responsibilities for bringing and raising and building a community for the natural progression to happen in. It is the man, not just black men once again, but all the races of men. But we know that other races of men have done far better than black men. I'm a black man, so it pains me to say that. Make no mistake about it. But it's the truth. Thank you for the super chat, Chris Von Erich. He says, shout out the honest truth. Great points. Thank you so much, Chris Von Erich. Glad to have you back in here.
Can I say
Alexander, before you go, Alexander, I want to let someone else go. So hang on for 1 second. I want to let someone else go. Loren, did you have anything you want to say? I want to let Jedi Mike go afterwards. Siamese possibly. I'll drop the link again if anybody else wants to join. If you don't want to say anything, Loren, then you could just
oh no, yeah, sorry, I was looking for the unmute.
Oh no, you're fine, Loren. No rush.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we've talked about this before, like the mental health aspect to some of this manosphere, and I also think Expose the Manosphere. He's the one that just had a good video on the what I call a toxic therapy session for a lot of these men, because that's exactly what it is. A lot of these men do have, I think they are on the spectrum, but also they just have like this lack of just social skills. They have a lack of knowing how to talk with women. They have a lack of knowing how to go after what they want. When you talk to some of these men that got into the manosphere, it's usually not men that have no problem getting women. It's usually not men that have no problem just kind of fitting in and going along and being like socially acceptable and, you know, socially, like they're adequate socially. It's always the ones that basically want to have these freaking revenge tours, you know. They're like, they want to go on revenge for all the people that rejected them and stuff like that. So it is a need. It is like a mental health thing to me, because it's like, I don't know how long these men have been holding on to some of this hurt, or who hurt them a long time ago. I don't know why they don't like go talk to someone like for real, like, but they find this as an outlet and they just run with it for way too long. So I was going to say that was a great metaphor of what you said about going off of that cliff, because these men get on that road and they go full steam ahead because they think they found something that's valuable, and they don't realize this is hurting them in the long run, and it's not sustainable. It's not real world friendly. Like I always say, a lot of this stuff that they say and they learn and they talk is just stuff that exists only in the manosphere. This stuff exists only in their little bubble, you know, where everyone agrees with each other and they all can say and agree with the same things. But this stuff does not work in the real world. That's why there are no men that are successful, that have businesses, that are making all kinds of money and stuff like that. They're not lifelong bachelors. Even if they're not completely faithful to their wives. A lot of men cheat. We all know that, you know. But it's necessary, like for them to, you know, for them to see. Most people like equate a successful man with having a family, with having a wife, with having children, with having somebody that they can pass things down to. You know, that stuff equals success. So this stuff does not really last in the real world. And like lastly, like I think we're going to do a lot more on this Goldman Sachs investment. But this female vajayjay jealousy is so real. It does not make any sense how real that is. Like these men are seriously jealous because oh my God, when that story was released, I think your channel was still down. But I was like, dang, I wish Honest channel was up when this story came out, because I was like, I cannot believe these men are so mad. I was like, oh, why are they so upset?
They were infuriated. And you know, the craziest thing about it, Loren, is that somehow it passes them or it misses them that the money going into Black female-owned businesses is going to up that dollar circulation that we always talk about that's lacking in the Black community, that 6 hour on average dollar circulation. You get more businesses, you get a higher dollar circulation, you get more Black progress, you get bigger and better and nicer Black communities. The kids end up being better people, less criminal convictions, more upstanding members of society. In turn, you end up having more wifeable wives, quote unquote, more marriage material that you actually seek to find so much. No, Black men, they didn't understand any of that. Why are Black women getting all the money? Why do Black women getting all the money? Why? How is it all the Black women? And I'm going to clear some space on the panel, guys. I'm going to move a couple. Alexander, be sure to call in a little bit. I'm going to clear some space here so we can make sure we have room on the panel. I'll take you down, but come back soon, Alexander. I'll let everybody get their final words in really quickly before I start to clear off some room for the panel. Good night, AP Bunny. Thank you for being a member. What was I going to say? And so, yeah, why do Black women get the? Well, listen, Goldman Sachs wouldn't just, and you're right, Loren, we'll start and we'll do a stream on the entire investment from Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs wouldn't just throw $10 billion to the wind for political correctness. That's not Goldman Sachs' prerogative, all right? They have analyzed and have done extensive data and research into figuring out whether or not throwing $1 billion, let alone $10 billion, is worth it actually progressing and making monetary gains for them. Because make no mistake about it, it is a gain for them as well. Now, right now, it's a politically correct time to do it. And I'm glad that they're doing it because it puts on Front Street the work that Black women are doing to really try and progress the community. Once again, the Black men aren't seeing this. They're not responding to this. And they're demonizing this somehow, for God's sakes. I don't know.
Listen,
like I said before, and one thing, Loren, like I said before, look, it's essentially the white man saying, listen, we want y'all to do better. We're going to try and help. We're going to try and help you. But niggas are still trying to hold you back at the end of the day. Don't you take that white man's money. Like, bro, damn, bro, y'all niggas are crazy. Siamese, I'm going to take you down. Make sure you call back in a little bit, Siamese. I appreciate you. It was an honor having you here. It's like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Go ahead, Loren, and then Jedi, I'll let you go after.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to lose my train of thought. So it's a lot of them were saying like that, you know, this is going to destroy the relationships between Black men and Black women. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Tommy Sotomayor didn't have anything to do with why the relationships are destroyed, you know, between Black men and Black women. The Black manosphere has nothing to do with that. You know, all these years of just dragging Black women online for years and years and years has nothing to do with why our relationships are not great and not stable. It's been Goldman Sachs the whole time. They're the ones that did it. Please get out of here. I don't want to hear that. And, you know, they act like that this is some sort of government because they keep talking about welfare. This is welfare all over again. I don't know if they realize this, but Goldman Sachs is an investment bank. Do y'all know what investment banking is? All right. This is not charity. This is not, they didn't say we're giving out money to charity. When you're giving charity, you give it for a good cause because the person needs it and you're not expecting anything in return. And the person doesn't need to qualify except for the fact that they are in a very disadvantaged position. All right. They are making an investment because they expect to get something in return. They expect to get a lot in return. As a matter of fact, I think they said 450 billion added to the GDP because of this investment. For them to have those kind of numbers and for them to like even decide to go down, you know, this kind of initiative, they've crunched a lot of numbers. They've calculated, they've come to a conclusion based off of something. You know, they didn't say, let's just pick someone and throw $10 billion at them and let's just see what happens. They wouldn't be Goldman Sachs if that's the way that they made their investments. So that one definitely needs a lot more topic. But you know what? The jealousy of a woman that like profits off of a man's like provisions, that is taken care of, that can, you know, receive. Like a lot of these men just want to be receivers. They don't want to say that, but a lot of men, they just wish that they could sit back and kick back and receive all day, like the way women can. And yeah, it's pretty weird.
Absolutely, it's so true. Like it makes me feel like they want to be women.
Yeah, they do. Tommy Sotomayor wants to be a woman. I see
Literally.
it now. You should watch his live stream on it. I mean, he just, everything about him was just like, you know, what about me? What about us? It's not fair. How come no one wants to help the black man out? Don't nobody want to help? It's not another man's job. It's not another man's job. You're a man. Why don't black men, instead of worrying about what white men are doing with their money, why don't black men get together and ask, why don't we have a Goldman Sachs? Where's our Goldman Sachs? Instead of y'all sitting around asking black women, how dare they take this money? You know, O'Shea said he wouldn't want it. Well, O'Shea, I'm glad it's not going to you then, because I want it.
Right.
I definitely plan on getting my cut. You can best believe that. But like, why don't y'all figure out why you don't have a version of Goldman Sachs?
Yep. It kind of goes back to what we said a long time ago, Loren, where we have people of severe affluence. There are black billionaires. There are black centimillionaires. Still, I don't know if there's a single black-owned central banking system. There might be. I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. But yes, this is the thought process that we need to start having and holding our men accountable for. It's like, dude, okay, sure, maybe white man bad. Just you think white man bad, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if they're trying to do something good for you, then that's a good thing, right? Like you need money to survive. We need money to start making Black Lives Matter and Black excellence. So, like, you just don't want us to take the money. You don't want the women to take the money because they're women and it's from a white man, or are you mad because you think that white men don't want to marry black women like you always say? Or I don't understand. Are you talking about O'Shea Duke Jackson saying he wouldn't take the money?
Yeah.
Okay, well, O'Shea Duke Jackson is a YouTuber that's paid from a white man's platform, so he has no room to speak. But this is once again the hypocrisy of the manosphere. O'Shea lives off of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is owned by white people. So
and he lives off of people super chatting him and just giving him money for talking. Like he'll go live. Matter of fact, he went live when that story dropped because he said he was getting flooded with emails and concerns from his followers and from black men that were just like that they didn't understand it. It's not fair. So he came on to say, listen, black men, no, it's not fair. Okay, no one's going to give you a handout. So he was trying to look at it a bit more like, I don't know why y'all expect a bunch of rich men to help you guys out, but like his followers were just like, you know, just shocked and disgusted at this initiative. And I'm like, and then but then even O'Shea himself said that if it were him, he wouldn't take it and he wouldn't want it. And I'm like, why not? Well, for one, why not? For one, I'm a woman. I'm not exchanging sex. I'm not exchanging some sort of like, you know, it's an investment. Okay. They didn't say black women walk into the bank with your purse out and we'll dump millions of dollars into your pocketbook. They didn't say that. You have to have something to, you know, of value, you know, I have a business. I would like to get some capital for a storefront. You know, there's things you have to come in there with. It's not a handout. It's not charity. So please.
Absolutely correct, Loren. Absolutely correct. Loren, for all you don't know who's active sponsor of the channel, make sure that you check out the links after this video is posted and the links that I'm getting ready to post now. UniqueBoutiqueCandles.com, proud sponsor of the channel. Awesome products. It never ceases to fail. I have more orders coming in now, definitely for sure. I want to read this comment really quickly. Taking a page out of Taylor's book. She says, I see you took a page out of my book. I did, Taylor. Here's a good one. The CDC said black women's wear too much weave and have too many babies to deserve any of the monies. That was from our local Pookie down on Martin Luther King Boulevard. So shout out to you, Pookie, for reporting in with Taylor Beauty. Thank you, Taylor, for that accurate report. and statement. I look forward to the next one. Jedi Mike, thank you for waiting. Your patience is dearly admired. The floor is yours.
No problem, brother. It's well spoken, man. Well spoken. Just to answer your question, we do have there is a black-owned banks. For example, there is one, a Commonwealth National Bank based in Atlanta, Broadway Federal Bank that's based in California. Another one is One United Bank. But even then, they're not to the extent as Wells Fargo, Capital One, or Navy Federal. But like you said, like you mentioned about the black dollar, circulates within 6 hours. Even then, as men, I feel like kind of result to that. 28 days in Asian communities, 19 or 17 days in Jewish or white communities, and it's just ridiculous seeing the parallel to that, and we're wondering why we're dead last. And the answer, Lorraine also made a point that where these men, what they're looking for the manosphere, and I tell you what they're looking for. They're looking for their second father, or the father that was never there to begin with. For example, in the manosphere, when looking up to Kevin Samuels, looking up to Tommy, and I'm glad you mentioned Tommy, because he's been that for years about that, and he got obviously channel after channel taken down and stuff like that. But even then, like, to just bitter rage. I mean, if you watch his ethers that he done, like stuff like that, it's just been like constant, just braiding, just complete anger. But even then, he just like, I just cannot accept that as me being raised the way I was raised by my parents. It's really embarrassing. And the fact that, like, as men, we are our brother's keeper. And I'm saying that with the reason why these men look up to their second father, because men, we weren't there. See, when I was a kid, I mimicked everything my father did. My dad, and even though I'm a first generation college student, is like, he put that, making sure that I'm able to go exceed him. But he set the bar for me, knowing that, hey, listen, this is not the peak where you're gonna be as a black man. And I'm blessed that I had that. But we don't have that enough in our community. And I'm the exception. I'm part of the 20% of the 80% when we're born out of wedlock. And it's a damn shame that other communities are beating us by that. And but my thing is that having intact black families is dangerous to society in terms of enemies that want to tear us down. They don't want to see it. There's people profiting off of the broken relationships of black people. And I just know, as me as a man, that I can control everything that I can do, whether it's in terms of bettering my relationship skills, knowing myself that, hey, listen, it's like this pride, this egotistical type of mentality that most brothers want to do. And she's right. Us men, we don't know how to work with each other. Honest truth, like when I want to start making a channel, like, you're not my enemy, you're my partner. Like, your win is my win. Or any successful black man is just speaking truth. He's not our enemy, he's our brethren. And I'm saying that if we start having the mentality, then we can grow something that even far surpasses the manosphere itself. But it's going to take some time. We're not really doing stuff as a collective enough now. I mean, I can mention a few things, but it's just not to the extent that we should be, in my opinion, that we should be. But I just know that it just takes one step in moving forward. But the one thing is especially the MGTOWs, and they mention everything about taking women's rights away, stuff like that, and being against marriage. Like, to me, it's like, okay, well, we're men. Well, we're men. We want all the rights. Like, last time I checked, rights were linked up to responsibilities, and responsibilities were linked up to accountability. So if we have all the rights, we have all the accountability.
Absolutely. Well said, Jedi. Well said, my friend. You are on the Jedi mindset level. I'll tell you that much. You're definitely thinking like a Jedi,
Thank
man.
you.
No, thank you, brother. I want to read the super chat. I missed it. Black Women Sisterhood, huge contributor. Thank you for all the donations tonight, Black Women Sisterhood. I think you're almost at $40 just tonight. She says, supporting the channel. Honestly, I can't believe the manosphere. Or honestly, I believe, the manosphere causes long-term brain damage, because even the X-red pillars that appear on the Expose the Manosphere, they all seem just socially off. Yeah. She's speaking to Expose the Manosphere's YouTube channel, which is a great YouTube channel. His content, when he decides to make edits and, theme videos and put them together, the dude's really a genius, man. When you talk about like golden content, Expose the Manosphere is extremely talented, like talented enough to be working for large multimedia corporations. The dude's brilliant. He's very smart. I haven't seen too many of his live interviews, but yes, that is a theme that I've noticed, is that there is that mental. There's a lot going on, and none of us are perfect. I'm not trying to say that, I'm the heir of Jesus Christ himself. Like I was saying, a lot of these menospheric people think that they are, but yeah, I've noticed that as well. There's something going on, man. Something going on. And past that, even if there's not anything going on, what we know as radicalization, taking a normal mental mind and, leveling it through a process of stages to break it down, then rebuild it into how you want this mind or this person to think, operate, feel, and act. Radicalization, we call that. A lot of the terror groups do this. They radicalize people and they bring them from the Western civilizations, bring them out, make them do certain things, and all of a sudden they have another brother in arms, right? This is what the manosphere essentially is doing. They're taking kids who haven't even had a girlfriend yet, they haven't even had a heartbreak yet, and they're telling them, listen, be careful, because the big bad wolf, the black woman, is out to get you. She's gonna get you. The woman's out to get you. She's gonna sue you. She's gonna take your kids. She's gonna put you on child support. She will kill you if she gets the chance in your sleep. This is what they're telling the kids and these teenagers. And so they're seeing it. They're saying, "Oh my God, I gotta save myself because these women are out to get me." And the girls beside them are like, "Dude, I just want to." I just want to like make TikTok videos. I really don't care about that, right? So this is what's going on and what will continue to happen. And Jedi Mike, to your point, I think that we do need to start working together. The thing is that we're a new type of movement. Nobody's really been checking these dudes except for a few guys out here. There's not that many. And even then, I'm very careful with who I decide to work with, as we should be, because so many people will just eventually this movement is going to start to grow, and a lot of people are just going to switch over because this is a movement. Right now, there's a big push in the manosphere, a purge in the manosphere. A commenter was talking above, I think it was Taylor Beauty, talking in reference to Donovan Sharp having his channel taken down, right? So there was a large channel with over 200,000 subscribers that took Donovan Sharp's channel down. Jedi, I'll let you go in 1 second. And he just got it back, like, I don't know. I think it was only down for less than 24 hours. But right now, even in the manosphere, they're divided. And I'm seeing concepts that I'm talking about on my channel, even though a lot of my videos only get like 1,000, 2,000, 2.5K views after I post them within a couple of weeks. The people that are watching are major hitters. The people that banned my channel have over 200,000 subscribers. The people that gave me a copyright strike. The reason I was gone for three weeks, which Jedi Mike, you're new to the channel, you don't know this. I just got my channel back. The guys who copyright struck me have over 200,000 subs. So they're watching right now. And I'm seeing, even in the live streams, the shift in dialogue that they're starting to have. So right now, the manosphere is in purge mode. And so one of the biggest guys in the manosphere is trying to get rid of Donovan Sharp. He's trying to get rid of Hotep Jesus and a lot of these other black manosphere and manosphere type guys who don't align with everything that he says or he believes with, because they're bringing down the quality of the manosphere, so it's happening. It's just going to take a while.
Man, I'm sorry, dude. I literally just got here. Just like my first or second stream. I was watching you, dude. But yeah, man, I apologize for that happening to you. And that's just one thing I fear, because like one thing they always try to hit the jab of us, when they keep throwing the word simp or mangina, cuck, whatever name you can call it. But thing is just like, like my grandmother, my grandfather always says, not what they call you, what you answer to. And I answer to, you call me by my name that I was born with, or you call me a black man, and that's who I am. But that thing is that we forgot who we are because we are trying to engineer. I feel like the problem is that in our community that we try to engineer relationships, right? Where we try to overcomplicate things where we're just point blank and simple. But things we lost it, and it overline when we have divulged in our communities terms of when involving whether it might have been with the drugs in the community, gang violence and stuff like that, whether it might be the domestic violence in our own, which unfortunately my mother was a result of prior to her meeting my father. But thing is like she taught me what it is to love a woman or love a black woman, but she came from the pain of her being abused, being beaten down and stuff. And now, and to me is that I know that I do not want to ever be that man that, I'm blessed I haven't met the man, that did that. He would have been down, 6 feet under, but I just know that my mother instilled in me that I don't want to be that man that she feared, for many years prior to her meeting my father. But I just know that even that I'm also acceptable to that violence too. I have the potential to become that, as many black men too, because we are being perpetuated to be against our own women. And that's, to me, it's like appalling. And to me, I just say, like, to hell with that. And I refuse. I refuse. I won't accept that. I believe black men are better. I know we are better. And now I'm watching you right now on this channel. And the thing is about that is the truth hurts. Even then, Jesus was killed for speaking the truth. Doesn't mean he wasn't right.
Absolutely. Well said, Jedi. Absolutely well said. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read a couple of comments here, and we're going to start to kind of wrap things up. This wasn't the 5-hour stream as promised. I got a couple comments on the last stream saying, why was the stream so short? It was 2 hours, and it was like 2.5 hours or something like that, 2 hours. And we're used to doing Jedi. You'll see there's a couple 6-hour, 5-hour streams that we have on here. One of them was almost a 7-hour stream. We'll get back to the 5-hour streams here in a little bit, y'all. We'll get back to them in a little bit. We just got to
Looking
make
forward
sure.
to it.
Oh yeah, definitely, brother, definitely. And like I said before earlier, we have a lot of different shows that are getting ready to happen. Do have live stream interviews. Stay tuned. Within the next week or so, we're gonna have the first live stream interview with a Black central figure in the community, upright, good standing, law abiding Black man with the head on his shoulders, who has a story and has more excuses than any Black man I've heard in the Black manosphere ever give to be a failure, to be a statistic, but he didn't. He passed, and he passed with flying colors. We'll be talking with him soon. Stay tuned for that. We have one-on-one interviews. One of the first interviews I'll be doing is with my father. That'll be a very interesting video. You won't want to miss that. Very interesting video. We'll do closing statements. Before I do closing statements, I want to read a couple of these comments. Alexander, give me an email. I just posted my email in the chat box, but it is YT. Oh, I think I messed that up, actually. It's The Honest Truth, YT. Alexander, it's in my About section. Go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/TheHonestTruth, then click on the About tab. When you get to the About tab, you can highlight and copy my email. So the About section of my YouTube, give me an email, and I'll help you set up your live stream, brother. We'll definitely get that. We're going to read a couple of these comments, and then we're going to do our final statements. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up and get this live stream on into the post-processing, so we can have it uploaded and continue the conversation there. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's subscribed, that's a member, that's donated. You don't understand just how much you directly contribute to the message we have here. This message, like Jedi Mike says, is going to take a while to get out. It's just the nature of the beast that we're fighting against right now. But make no mistake about it, this message is getting out there. You've already seen me go down. You'll continue to see me go down. The channel will probably go down again, and it'll go down again and again and again, because as we continue to grow, these are the growing pains that we're going to experience. But make no mistake about it, you cannot get any gain without the pain. And so your financial contributions, everything that you donate, all the comments, all the subscriptions, all the shares, it all matters to continue to bring in men like Jedi Mike, to continue to bring in men like Alexander, or the other gentleman that hopped on the stream last live stream. I can't think of all their names, but men who are and who were actively a part of the community starting to say, you know what? Okay, I was wrong for that. You know what? You're right, bro. I can't be watching that just for entertainment. You know what? You're right, bro. I need to actually do something about the problem I'm playing with. They're seeing this. They are seeing this. I'm not just saying that just to say that. And they'll continue to see this. There's going to be a day when we get to 1,000 live viewers, and then 10,000. It's going to take time, but it'll happen, because truth is light and everything else is darkness. And after trudging through the darkness for so long, people get tired of it. You don't want to walk in the darkness forever. Eventually, you're going to realize, you know what? I'm tired of this, and I want something that's going to help me. And when they do, we're going to be here for them. Black Woman Sisterhood, it's so good to have you here again. I'll let you give your statement and your closing statement, essentially, since we'll be wrapping it up. But you're in no rush. The floor is yours. Take as much time as you want. And thank you so much for all your contributions. It means the world.
Okay, you're welcome. I was actually and I'm actually late because I wanted to call in and just say, you guys are so right. When you were talking about the Goldman and Sachs thing, I just want to say I don't understand why Black men even see it as a win for only Black women. I think it's going to be a win for all of us, to be honest, because if Black women can start getting more commerce in their business, they can start hiring more employees. That translate into more Black people being hired in Black-owned businesses. And then, Black women, and then Black men, they can use this as an opportunity to join into business with their wives or their girlfriends. And so I really feel like it'd be a win for all of us if they can get past their jealousy and just mature up and use this as an opportunity to be strategic and as an opportunity to build together instead of only looking at it as something only for Black women.
Absolutely. Yeah. Instead of looking at it as another competition against Black women. Like,
it's
bro,
always it's always a competition. They say that it's us that's causing the divide, but really it's them. This should be a moment that we should be happy about.
right. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, dude, okay. That's a substantial amount of money and something that's going to help you as a Black person in the Black community, Black man. But instead they're full of hatred and rage, so we're going to cover that, and I want to talk about that topic specifically for a live stream, and we'll kind of intertwine it with a few other different topics, Black woman sisterhood, and how it pertains and relates to what we could do and what they could do better as Black men, and what we can do to make sure that we get everything that we can from this type of business transaction to continue to push ourselves and, you know, push the methodology of whatever you want to do, whether it be divest, whether that be to, you know, interracially date, whether that be to, you know, stick to yourself for a while, or to go out looking for the good Black man, you know, just the best way to kind of handle the next phase for Black growth. And what is the next phase for Black growth? So we'll make a live stream kind of intermingling all of that. That's the right word there. Black Woman Sisterhood, I'll let you stick around for
Okay,
a
thank
second.
you.
I'll let you give your final words last, Black Woman Sisterhood. But Jedi Mike, I want you to go ahead and give your last words. It's been an honor having you here, brother. We're going to wrap this up here shortly, and I can't thank you enough. So the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, brother, and nice to meet you, sisterhood, and everything. Thank you for joining the panel, and thank you for sharing some wisdom here. I just want to kind of just share to everyone here. I stand before you as an imperfect man. I mean, even like I said, I'm 22 years old. I'm like a senior in college. I'm about to graduate, but even then, it's like I am afraid of the unknown in terms of what is our state and our community, and I'm in this kind of dilemma. I even talk to my father all the time, like, you know, how I can do better. I know I'm far from in terms of talking about the degenerates or the Black men that kind of give us a bad name, like Jackson or Samuels or stuff like that, and the people that I might have listened to in the past, but I no longer listen to, but it's because I'm still learning. But my thing is that I don't know, I have faith, and I know the fact that the one thing, bottom line, is that, like, if we're as men to hold us accountable, even like even talking about past relationships, like, you know, like there's like a common trend of, like, you know, dudes like dogging their exes and stuff online on social media and everything, and it's just it's embarrassing. And the fact is, like, even in my past, I might have made mistakes in the past too, but I don't care what my exes did. I'm full accountable for it. Even though I'm in a relationship right now, things are going well. I just know that, hey, listen, just like, if I want to be better to my community, I know I need better in my relationships, not even just romantic, even just with my other Black men. It's just that my brother's friend I grew up with, they're not in competition with me. And I'm saying, if I do, then we truly are lost as a people. We are basically playing the pawns in the terms of the system, white man, whatever you call it, that is turning us down. We're doing the game for them. They don't have to get out of their seat to do it. And to me, I'm like, I'm not gonna give them the pleasure seeing me sweat trying to tear down my community. I won't give them that right. And I just know that we have channels like Honest Truth and other people, like other panelists here, that we keep speaking the truth. Obviously, will grow. Birds together, flock together, and iron sharpened iron. And it was a blessing speaking to you guys. And Honest Truth, and I will be back next time. A pleasure with you, brother, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Awesome. Jedi Mike, for their first appearance, it's truly been an honor. And can't wait to have you again. Make sure you turn the notification bell on. I'm going to take you down. It's once again been an honor. Take care, brother. Talk soon. That was Jedi Michael, a stand-up young man. What you see is the product of good parenting, education, and just a good, well-rounded person. You know, I can't state how important it is for us to see and for other people to see men like that. It's going to be the crux of this channel and the backbone that we build this channel off of. You know, it's going to be the legacy, men like that, women like such as yourself. You know, all of our panelists, all of our commenters, y'all are the building blocks of this channel, you know, and directly responsible for the new movement that will be going forth, that already is going forth and engaging the minds of the manosphere, the minds of the Black community, and lack thereof, if you will. So, Loren, your final words, always an honor. And I can't wait to have you on here again. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've been noticing that there's been like a little bit of a change in the tides. Like, some of the manosphere men are starting to, like, I don't know, tone down their message a little bit or change their wording, because they don't want to be associated with pedophiles. They don't want to be associated with men that, you know, have no control over their race. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of men don't like the idea that other men can come in and provide and protect and do the things that they're not doing. So some men are recognizing that that's what this means. But the most important thing is that Black men, whether they're in the manosphere or not, is they have to recognize that these images are you. These are your images. Derrick Jaxn is a reflection of you. Pookie and Ray Ray As much as you would like to, you know, speak in third person and act like that's not a black man that you're looking at, that is a black man. That is you. When people watch that kind of thing happen on the news, they're going to say, look how black men treat their women. They're not going to distinct that it's Pookie and Ray Ray. They're going to say, look at how black men treat their women. So if black men want to change their image, they have to take control of their image by holding other men accountable and holding men like that accountable. And y'all need to, like, you know, women, hear your criticisms and your corrections loud and clear. We get it. When are you going to put some of this smoke towards the men? All right, just that Pookie Ray Ray image is a stain on you, the same way the welfare, and in the same way our bad images are a stain and a bother on us. But black women have done like a pretty good job putting distance between us and some of those really bad tropes. All you have to do is show another view. Show that this is not the only type of person that you are. Show other views of yourself. And that's what black women do. There's a lot of black women in politics. There's a lot of classy black women that will never be associated with no welfare queen. Like, if you think that the average black woman right now is on welfare and in the house raising 10 kids by herself, you know, you're pretty stupid. Because that's something that I think of maybe that happened in the 70s or the 80s. That's not the average black woman's day-to-day life today at all. So black men need to take control of their image, start to do something on damage control, stop trying to separate yourself via third person from what you see on the news, because that's not helping you. And, you know, maybe then y'all be getting somewhere. But, you know, so much more to say on that. But yeah, that's my rant. I'm done. Honest.
It's always a beautiful rant. I always appreciate your energy. I always appreciate your beauty, your radiance on my channel, Loren. It's always an honor to have you here. Once again, the CEO of Unique Boutique Candles, the gorgeous Loren. I can't thank you enough for your sponsorship, for your support, for your time that you have continuously poured into the channel. And I'm honored to be able to have you as a guest and as a friend. So thank you, Loren.
I'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye, Black Woman Sisterhood.
Okay, have a good night, Lorraine. Have a good one.
She's waving by. She's waving by. Okay. Black Woman Sisterhood, final words. And thank you so much for all of your contributions, your time, your dedication to the channel. It means the world, Black Woman Sisterhood. It really does. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a really good panel tonight. Jedi, he is like years, you know, ahead of his time as far as like age and maturity goes. He did a really excellent job. You know, Lorraine, she always comes and brings a lot of reality and truth to the situation. So I always love your panels. You know, only thing I was going to really say is that I actually just thank you guys, like you exposed the minister and everybody who got a channel like you, because it's easy to kind of join red pill channels and it's easy to blame everything on black women. But I thank you few black men that are willing to look at yourselves in the mirror and see your shortcomings. I just want to let the guys know, like, we're not saying that black women are perfect. And so I don't want anybody to get this false assumption that we think black women are just perfect. But as of right now, we're doing a lot better as far as trying to better ourselves than our men. And so we need our men to catch up.
Yes.
And we need them to be competitive leaders. And so that's pretty much all I got to say.
Absolutely. BWS, always an honor. Great last words and something to build future streams on. I thank you for that. I'm going to take you down. We'll talk to you soon, and you take care of yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a wonderful stream, as always. We're back to my zoomed up fried edges and 10 o'clock midnight shadow. But I've never been happier. Just like the last stream, I said the exact same thing, to be with you all looking fried out. You all have added so much life to other people, and you don't even realize it, the other lives that you are affecting. The young minds who will watch this video, because we get about on average 50 to 100 live viewers, but each video that ends up going permanent does at least 1,000 views. And so on average, we're talking about another 900 to potentially 1.5 thousand people that watch these videos. And so the impact that you're making through your donations, through your likes, your shares, it really is making a difference already. And just like Lorenz said, the message is changing. Make no mistake about it, the message is changing. It's going to change even more in time, but it's already started changing now. And you can thank yourself particularly for that, supporting our message. And I can't thank you enough just for sticking, with me. I can't thank y'all enough. Y'all have no idea. Thank you so much, Marina. He says, thank you, THT. Your voice is radio material. Definitely. That's awesome. Love Mangoes. Thank you. Thank you. Magnificent One says, you're funny. I'm honest. I'm looking dusty. But fortunately, I look relatively decent looking. So even when I'm dusty, I look somewhat presentable. I lucked out. Shout out to my mom and dad. I see a lot of y'all's comments here. Thank you, moderators, for sticking around and moderating correctly. And thank you for not necessarily even going off the panel. We have the best moderators here. We really do. Thank you for all the members. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that as you go throughout this week, it is a new week starting in about an hour. Well, depending on where you're located, it's already a new week. It's 12:30 here in Texas. I want you to focus on your safety, progressing, and focus on yourself. Focus on your loved ones. Make sure that you're doing everything that you can to take care of those most important to you, whether that be focusing more on your energy, focusing more on your family's energy, focusing more on the energy of your kids, and maybe not so much the energy of outside influences, if you will. Make sure that you keep in mind that you only live one time. Time can be taken from anybody at any given time. And so it's very important that you go forward in life, making sure that you do the right thing as much as you can, that you plan as much as you can, and that you live life as much as you can. We talk very seriously on this channel, but at the same time, go out, do something new, fly a kite tomorrow, roll down a hill. If you want to hop on a motorcycle, just make sure it's a small motorcycle and take the back roads. Live life. Don't get so caught up necessarily in all the hatred. The hatred we can deal for another time, and we'll deal continuously and slowly in future upcoming times. But in the meantime, make sure you enjoy yourself. I love you. If you need to reach out to me, my back section in the YouTube channel is always there for you. I'm looking to make a Discord. For those of you who have Discord or who are familiar with it, maybe it could be a community that we could start making where we can keep in contact with each other and keep the chat going when we're not live on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. I'll introduce that in the community section tab on my YouTube channel. If you're subscribed, you'll see the update for Discord, something that I've thought about doing. Once again, I love you all. Stay in contact with me. Stay in contact with each other. Be safe. Take care of yourselves.